Part 209. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2082. Zhang Xiangbei originally had to rush to Shanghai after the party today, but Xiao Wu told him that he should stay in the company in Hangzhou. It is enough for me and Zhou Ruyi and Ma Jian to be here in Shanghai. You are in Hangzhou. If there is something urgent, you can discuss it with Wu Huan immediately and come up with a countermeasure quickly. Zhang Xiangbei thought about it and realized that Xiao Wu's words made sense. He said, "Yes, thank you for the hard work, master." "By the way, how is Ding Mianli?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "The past 2 days have been good. I have worked very hard," Xiao Wu said. "What about his relationship with Ma Jian?" Zhang Xiangbei asked again. "It's okay," Xiao Wu said. "Ding Mianli has a very low profile. He has placed himself in the position of vice president. Ma Jian decides everything. He is just there to help with ideas." Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "That's good." Zhang Xiangbei was driving, and after thinking about it, he made a call to Xiangnan. Although Wu Huan had already spoken to him, Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan told him that he would go to the Nangdu wholesale market in Xiaoshan to have a look. He might be late. Return. "I understand, Wu Huan has already told me," Xiangnan said. "Be careful when driving at night, and if anything happens, don't conflict with others." Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "Don't worry, there are former police officers here." Xiangnan snorted, "That former policeman is worse than you." Zhang Xiangbei laughed. "What do you want to eat?" "I can pack it back for you," Xiangnan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Forget it. If Fatty and I are hungry, we can just have a bowl of fried noodles and a skewer on the roadside." "Okay, then I won't care about you, but you still have to pay attention to safety, do you understand?" Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei said he understood and hung up the phone. Zhang Xiangbei arrived at the Nangdu wholesale market. The scene here was the same as what he saw at the Shaoguang Agricultural Products Logistics Park. Although it was already past 11 o'clock in the evening, it was the busiest time here. Vehicles were transporting vegetables. Large trucks are driving in here, and people and vehicles coming to wholesale vegetables from all over the province are also gathering here. They purchase vegetables from here and then go back to various cities and counties to either wholesale them or sell them directly at farmers' markets. There are also people who purchase the food here and then deliver it to farmers' market operators in various places. They only need to pick up the food at the door of the local farmers' market, or deliver it directly to various units and hotels. It's still early at the local farmers' markets and vegetable shops in the streets and alleys of Hangzhou. They have to wait until 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to come here and start selling immediately. Zhang Xiangbei found Sun Xiangyang at the gate. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Where are the people from Daily Fresh? Did you lose them?" "Don't worry, they are all inside, you can bump into them casually," Sun Xiangyang said. Sure enough, as soon as they entered the gate, they saw more than a dozen people there. The traffic police stopped every large truck that came in like an interrogation. They asked what kind of food it was and what the price was. After asking, they said, "Let's go, we want it, we are from Diabao.com," and weighed together. They don't say that they are from Daily Fresh, but from Dabao.com. This is because they are afraid that others still don't know about Daily Fresh. Then, a man climbed into the passenger seat and weighed himself with the driver, the vegetable vendor. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang stood there for more than 10 minutes and saw 4 carts of vegetables being bought by them. Zhang Xiangbei shook his head and thought, "Why do you just buy the vegetables like this, without even climbing up to see the quality of the vegetables, just because the price is right?" Zhang Xiangbei looked at these people and saw that they were people from big companies. Even if they were asked to check, they probably couldn't tell what was good and what was bad. "How many have they bought?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "There must be dozens of cars," Sun Xiangyang said. "Someone in Haining is counting and will report back later." Here, they are not just here, they have their people at every import and export. It seems that the amount they purchased is quite large, which shows that they are very confident in their sales after going online tomorrow. It's the same in Shanghai. I just contacted Ma Jian. They have found the home of Daily Fresh in Zhangjiang Science and Technology Park. They are also out today. The vegetables are all purchased from the wholesale market in Zhangjiao, Jiading Sun Xiangyang and Zhang Xiangbei said. Go to hell, Zhang Xiangbei cursed. Wu Huan is indeed right. They really only do things that are easy. Yeah, who is as stupid as us, Sun Xiangyang said. Indeed, it is very simple to do this according to Daily Fresh. They do not need to travel all over the country to establish their own procurement network and vegetable supply base. How many vegetables are needed every day? They only need to send people here to purchase. Over time, it will develop to the point where the vegetable vendors deliver vegetables directly to them, and they don't even have to come out. Although the purchase price of vegetables will be higher than that of Zhang Xiangbei and others, it also saves purchasing personnel and work, and there is no need to establish any branches or offices. But this is not what Zhang Xiangbei wants to do. He feels that this is equivalent to just making a terminal, which is just an online farmer's market without opening up the entire industrial chain. The two people were about to leave when they saw more than a dozen people surrounding them with ferocious looks. The leader, at first glance, could tell that he was the kind of food bully who had been hanging around here for a long time. Following behind him were his thugs and others inside. Of business households. Daily Fresh's behavior of stopping the truck at the gate to buy groceries must have robbed them of their supply. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stop the hum, the leader shouted, pointing at the people at Daily Fresh. Among the people at Daily Fresh, someone also walked out. They were obviously prepared for this kind of thing. This person said, "We are from Dabao.com, and we come here to buy groceries." "Come on, this is not the place you came from," the leader shouted. The other party was not afraid at all. He looked at him and said, "I advise you not to cause trouble. It's okay to scare the merchants and hawkers. As I told you, we are from the Bao network. You can't afford to offend us." Seeing the other party like this, the leader was stunned for a moment. It was true that these guys said they were dishonest, but in fact they were bullies and fearless guys. What they were particularly good at was bullying drivers who had come all the way and had no friends in Hangzhou. And the vegetable sellers, Zhang Xiangbei and others, had come here to purchase in the first few days when Zaixian delivery was launched, and had met them, but they were dealt with by Xiao Wu. In Zhang Xiangbei's heart, he had some admiration for this guy from Daily Fresh. He was courageous and knowledgeable. It seemed that they were also talented people and should not be underestimated. What? Two policemen, who came out of nowhere, came over immediately. Zhang Xiangbei smiled. No wonder he was so confident and prepared. When the restaurant boss saw the police arriving, he muttered a few words and walked away. The business owners were still gathered around, cursing. There's already a humming Zaixianqi, and now Dabao is here to sell vegetables. Are they going to give us a way to survive? They've already stolen all the business. The person from Daily Fresh said, "Business depends on robbing. Don't you also want a few green dragons and white tigers to rob you here? How noble do you think you are? By the way, we haven't started robbing your business yet. Zai Xianshui has been snatched up. If you have the guts, go find Zai Xianshui. Do you want me to give you the address?" "Mom," Sun Xiangyang cursed. It's gone, it's all gone." The two policemen waved their hands. Even the leading vegetable barbarian had already escaped. These business owners had no choice but to disperse. Let's go back," Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang said. "That's it for now. We'll see tomorrow." For some reason, Zhang Xiangbei saw that the Daily Fresh vegetables were all purchased from the wholesale market. He felt that he was a little cautious and that they were taking the most convenient way. However, Zhang Xiangbei decided that if you take the wrong road, you can't go far. The further you go, the more mistakes you will make. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang said, the number of people squatting can be reduced, but don't cancel it. Let's see if they are like us. They come here to purchase. It is also an emergency behavior at the beginning. When we were here, their vegetable trucks may already be on the way. Sun Xiangyang said yes. By the way, is there any way to find their internal people? I want to know more about their internal situation. Zhang Xiangbei said, if they purchase like this, there will definitely be a lot of inventory. I want to know how they store that inventory. Handled. Sun Xiangyang said, it's simple. I went to the workshops below to find them. They are all part-time workers. There must be some fellow villagers or relatives working there. The two people talked and walked to Zhang Xiangbei's car. Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang said, you can take my car and go. I'll go over there and make arrangements. Fatty Sun said and walked away, walking back to his car. The night in September was still very hot. Zhang Xiangbei had only been outside for more than half an hour, and he was already covered in sweat. He got into the car, turned on the air conditioner, adjusted the wind speed to the maximum, and blew the wind. And after a while, the temperature in the car dropped. Sun Xiangyang came back and got into the car. Zhang Xiangbei was about to start the car when his cell phone rang. Zhang Xiangbei looked at it and saw that it was Zheng Huiyang. Zhang Xiangbei was surprised. Why was Zheng Huiyang calling him so late? Zhang Xiangbei picked up. Bai Bei, the misunderstanding about poaching has been resolved. I also scolded them. This kind of thing will never happen again. Bai Bei, have you heard that any of you were poached by us? Zheng Huiyang asked. Zhang Xiangbei was confused as to why he was talking about poaching people in the middle of the night. Zhang Xiangbei said, no, thank you Aunt Huiyang. Bai Bei, now that the misunderstanding has been eliminated, don't think of ways to retaliate. Let's not block the road, okay? Otherwise, when we call the police, everyone will look bad, Zheng Huiyang said. What's blocking the road? Aunt Huiyang, I don't understand at all. Zhang Xiangbei was really confused as a monk. You really don't know, Bai Bei? Zheng Huiyang asked. I really don't know, Aunt Huiyang. Where are you now? Zheng Huiyang asked next. Hang Chen, we are getting ready to go home. Okay, Bai Bei, then you call Shanghai first and ask. I'll call you later, Zheng Huiyang said and hung up the phone. It's inexplicable. What's blocking the road? Zhang Xiangbei put down the phone and muttered, but saw Sun Xiangyang couldn't help laughing secretly in the passenger seat. Zhang Xiangbei became alert and asked Sun Xiangyang. Fat man, what's going on? Do you know about this? Sun Xiangyang couldn't hold back any longer and burst out laughing. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you to the traveler Ye Buzan, the little brother who eats fish, Lu Yulong, Zipanjiang 1, Shi Yitan, Shachin Mood, Sman, the fisherman at the dock, Lao Shenzasang, 1975 Carfans, Mr. SGN, Humor Tribe, Book Friend 20181130105305305944, Monthly Pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2083. Sun Xiangyang heard the conversation between Zhang Xiangbei and Zheng Huiyang, and Sun Xiangyang cursed. What do you mean, this Zheng Huiyang? Is there a mistake? They were poaching our people, and we were wrong. Oh, now they're not poaching, and we have to thank them in turn. Fat man, don't talk so much. Tell me, what's going on? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Sun Xiangyang ignored him and continued to curse angrily. This Zheng Huiyang just talked about poaching people. Why didn't she talk about the elevator advertisement posted opposite us? She also said, it's better to come sooner than later. Damn it, why didn't she talk about them? The advertisement posted on our CRISPR? Damn it. Zhang Xiangbei, you just don't care about some things and let them do it, just to show these bastards their colors. Fat man, what's going on? If you don't humming tell me, I'm going to fall out, Zhang Xiangbei shouted. Sun Xiangyang looked at Zhang Xiangbei and saw the seriousness on his face. Sun Xiangyang sighed, took out his mobile phone, opened WeChat, and said to Zhou Ruyi via voice. Baby, Zheng Huiyang called Zhang Xiangbei to ask about your affairs over there. He is right next to me. You tell him. After Sun Xiangyang finished speaking, he handed the phone to Zhang Xiangbei, and Zhang Xiangbei took it. Zhou Ruyi on the opposite side requested a video. Zhang Xiangbei clicked to accept. Zhou Ruyi's excited face appeared in the camera, and she shouted loudly. It's so enjoyable. It's so exciting. I'm completely blocked. Zhang Xiangbei, let me show you. The camera moved away, and Zhang Xiangbei was startled. The picture he saw was a three-way intersection, or a picture taken by a drone from above. A container truck was parked diagonally across one of the intersections. This car was not far away, 6 or 7 meters apart. On the way in, another container truck was parked there with its front facing in the other direction. The two cars were parked very skillfully, with more than 2 meters of width left at one end. Electric cars can pass, and small cars can pass slowly and in an S shape. The road is not completely blocked, but if a large truck, I can't get through it. There are already many large trucks blocked on the other two roads at the three-way intersection. You can't see the end of them at a glance. Many of the trucks are covered with high fences and covered with raincloths on top. You can tell at a glance that they are trucks transporting vegetables. They are blocked. On this road, there are also many empty trucks that cannot get out. Zhang Xiangbei understood immediately and asked, this road is the entrance to their daily fresh, right? Haha, of course. The only passage is now blocked. Isn't the scene very spectacular? Zhou Ruyi laughed, and Sun Xiangyang laughed as he watched from the side. I don't know how long the traffic jam will last. Let's see what they will give to the dear Shanghai citizens tomorrow. Zhou Ruyi was extremely proud. Who told you to fool around like this? Zhang Xiangbei asked. No, it has nothing to do with us. Zhou Ruyi smiled. If it were us, how dare we not report such a big thing to you first? Zhang Xiangbei understood and asked, are you a second-rate person? Yes, it's the second commander. Zhou Ruyi said, the second commander has said that there is no need to report to you what he does. The second commander also warned us not to talk too much and not to take too much care, so we won't talk too much or take too much care. Hey, Zhang Xiangbei, how do you know? Are you a fat man? Fat man, look at me coming back. No, it wasn't me. It was Zheng Huiyang who called Zhang Xiangbei and told him. Sun Xiangyang quickly came over and shouted. Zhou Ruyi, is the second commander here? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Of course, why don't he personally direct such a good show? Zhou Ruyi said with a smile, he is diverting traffic to let those electric vehicles and cars pass. Go give him the phone and ask him to answer the phone, Zhang Xiangbei said. If you don't go, you can beat me yourself, Zhou Ruyi said, I don't know if you will pick me up. As Zhou Ruyi spoke, she interrupted the call. Sun Xiangyang laughed and shouted, the scene is indeed spectacular, but it's a pity that I was not there. Zhang Xiangbei glared at him and cursed, it's a shame you were a policeman before. What's wrong with the police? The police also have their own likes and dislikes, and they are very clear about it, which is better than some people, Sun Xiangyang said, which was a roundabout way of scolding Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei was too lazy to pay attention to him. He picked up his mobile phone and dialed Urquo. The phone rang twice and was pressed down. When he dialed again, it was pressed down again. Zhang Xiangbei called Xiao Wu, and Xiao Wu answered. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Master, are you also in Zhangjiang?" "No, I'm at the base," Xiao Wu said. "Do you know what Uncle Erhuo is going to Zhangjiang for?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. Of course Xiao Wu knew, but he said, "I know a little bit." "Can you call him and ask him to stop, Master?" Zhang Xiangbei said. "No, I called him, but he didn't answer," Xiao Wu said. The bastard was very angry. He rushed over that day and the matter was settled. He was so angry that he wanted to look good to them, but I didn't do it either. I knew he would come out like this. "Did you not know, or did you know and didn't stop me, Master?" Zhang Xiangbei suddenly remembered and asked, "Master, is this why you don't let me go to Shanghai?" Xiao Wu laughed and said he was right. "I don't let you come to Shanghai. I really hope you won't get involved in these bad things. I knew something would happen. However, I really don't know if I'm going to block the road tonight." "You still don't know who the bastard is? If he offended him, if he didn't come back with this tone, how could he stop?" Zhang Xiangbei had no choice but to hang up Xiao Wu's phone and could only continue to make second-rate calls. The phone was still pressed. The call here had not been connected yet. Zheng Huiyang's call came again. It seemed that they were really anxious. Zhang Xiangbei North picked up. Zheng Huiyang asked, "Bai Bei, have you asked clearly?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "I know what happened, but this matter was not done by us." "Of course I know you didn't do it," Zheng Huiyang said sarcastically. "How could you be so stupid that you would directly conflict with us? You are second-rate, right?" Sun Xiangyang beside him couldn't bear it anymore and shouted loudly. "What's wrong? What's wrong if it's just us? Damn it, you poached our people, posted advertisements on our crispers, and made all the shit on our heads. Isn't this a direct conflict?" "Who is it, Bai Bei? How can you talk?" Zheng Huiyang asked. "Are you really going to make things bigger?" Zhang Xiangbei said, "Aunt Huiyang, don't threaten me. I won't do this. I really don't know about today's matter. I'm also on the phone to deal with it. I haven't found anyone yet. The second-rate uncle won't answer me phone, you have to give me time." Zheng Huiyang sighed and said, "Bai Bei, I didn't mean that. I didn't threaten you. The people below kept calling me. The boss also called me just now to ask. I'm in a dilemma. You know, Bai Bei, I just want us to. It won't reach this point, this matter must be resolved, and it will not be beneficial to anyone if it takes too long." Zhang Xiangbei said, "I understand, Aunt Huiyang, I am also trying to solve this problem, but I have to find the second-rate uncle first. If I continue to talk to you, I will not have time to find him." "Okay, Bai Bei, you go and deal with it, I thank you," Zheng Huiyang said and hung up the phone. "Zhang Xiangbei, I still say what I said, just leave this matter alone," Sun Xiangyang said. "Do you think I want to take care of it?" Zhang Xiangbei scolded. "If you go online and look at it now, you will see all the positive news about our company and tonight's charity show. Tonight, we are fighting against Daily Fresh. We won the first battle. How much energy and effort did we spend to win this battle? Are you all pigs? If news of the road blockage spreads on the internet in a few hours, our battle tonight will be in vain. The higher we climb, the worse we will fall, and we will be scolded earth-shaking." "Why are you scolding us?" "It's not us," Sun Xiangyang said. "I misjudged you, fat man. You are really a pig. No, no, you are stupider than a pig. To say you are a pig is an insult to a pig. If you look up on the internet, you will know that Half Mutian is our shareholder. If people from Muishan Logistics Base block other people's roads, how can we get away with it? Also, if people check it casually, they will know that Half Acre Field is my father's company. Why, during the charity sale earlier, it was my parents'. Now that they are blocking other people's roads, I don't recognize them as my father dad. Sun Xiangyang was scolded by Zhang Xiangbei until he was speechless. Zhang Xiangbei continued to dial the second-hand phone number, but was still pressed. Zhang Xiangbei continued to hit Xiao Wu. When the call went through, Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Master, apart from Zhou Ruyi, who among our people is present in Zhangjiang?" Xiao Wu hesitated and refused to speak. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Master, if you don't tell me, I will get on the highway right now and come to Shanghai." Xiao Wu sighed and said, "Ding Mianli." Zhang Xiangbei immediately called Ding Mi Yulai. The phone received a busy signal. This guy knew that Zhang Xiangbei would definitely call him. He didn't know what to say when he answered. He was in a dilemma and simply turned off the phone. "I'll call," Sun Xiangyang said, and called Zhou Ruyi, who picked up the phone. "Baby, go ask the second commander to answer the phone," Sun Xiangyang said. "What are you doing, fat man? Are you rebelling?" Zhou Ruyi asked. "No, I think Zhang Xiangbei is right." Sun Xiangyang then told Zhou Ruyi what Zhang Xiangbei said to him. After Zhou Ruyi listened, she said, "Just wait." After a while, Zhang Xiangbei's phone rang. It was a second-rate guy. Zhang Xiangbei quickly picked it up. The second-rate guy shouted, "Bai Bei, is Lao Wan's wife looking for you? Ignore her, she's forced to raise you. If things get angry, I'll call Lao Wan over and see what she says." "No, uncle, I don't think we can do this," Zhang Xiangbei said. "If we want to compete, we will compete with them openly. We won't do such things." "What do you mean, Bai Bei? If you don't do it, they will compete with you openly. You are just as stubborn as the instructor. You are a good guy. You are sold and forced to raise money by helping others. Don't worry about this. If you want to make a call, give my phone number to Lao Wan's wife and ask her to call me, and see if I don't scold her like a bitch." "Uncle, you really can't make this a big deal," Zhang Xiangbei said. "What are you afraid of? What does it have to do with you? I did it and forced you to raise it. By the way, did she threaten you to call the police?" Several of their forced girls here also said they would call the police. I said report it. You guys report it. Even if the police are here, you can't say my car is broken down here. The car is broken down, what can I do? Didn't you see that I'm still directing the evacuation?" The second-rate guy said with a proud smile. Zhang Xiangbei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Zhang Xiangbei gritted his teeth and said, "Uncle, if you don't withdraw, I will come to Shanghai." "Okay, I'll wait for you to come and drink together," Huo said. Zhang Xiangbei was really anxious and said, "Uncle, if you don't withdraw, I will ask my dad to call you." Before Zhang Xiangbei finished speaking, he immediately thought that it would be useless even if his father called the second-rate guy. Instead, he would be scolded as a coward. Zhang Xiangbei had an idea and said, "I'll ask my aunt Xiaofang to call you." Okay, Bai Bei, I'll withdraw." The second-rate guy immediately begged for mercy. "If you can't bear it, you'll be forced to raise me. When my aunt talks about the truth, she won't need to drink water for 3 or 4 hours. Zhang Xiangbei laughed loudly and said, "Thank you, uncle." Zhang Xiangbei started the car and drove away. When the car reached the Qiantang River, Zhang Xiangbei and Sun Xiangyang said, "Ask Zhou Ruyi if he has started to evacuate." "It has been withdrawn and sent to WeChat," Sun Xiangyang said wistfully. After crossing the second bridge and driving under the bridge of the old Bus East station, Zhang Xiangbei saw a barbecue stall on the roadside. He looked in the direction, stopped the car on the roadside, and said to Sun Xiangyang, "Let's go get some skewers." The two of them sat down at the barbecue stall. Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone dinged. He looked at it and saw that it was Zheng Huiyang who had sent a WeChat message, "Bai Bei, thank you. Thank you Wu Yue Hao, book friends 37479, and Zongkai 727 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2084. Early in the morning, while Xiang Nan was still sleeping in bed, Zhang Xiangbei got up, went to the bathroom and came out after washing up. When he saw Xiang Nan sitting up on the bed, Zhang Xiangbei asked, "What are you doing?" Xiang Nan said sleepily, "I'm going to get up too. This is in Hangchang, not Yongchang, and you don't have to get up to practice your voice." Zhang Xiangbei walked over, pressed Xiangnan's shoulders, and asked her to lie down again. Zhang Xiangbei said, "You need to sleep a little longer, you have to drive later. Today at noon, Xiang Nan and the theater troupe are going back to Yongchang." "I don't need to drive, Ding Yusong will drive," Xiang Nan said. "Then you should sleep a little longer. It's still early and the bus ride is tiring," Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiang Nan smiled and kept holding Zhang Xiangbei's neck. Zhang Xiangbei kissed her. Then Xiang Nan let go of him and said to him, "Drive slower on the road." Zhang Xiangbei agreed and went downstairs. There was no one downstairs. Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan hadn't gotten up yet. Zhang Xiangbei opened the door and went out. He walked to the next door. The door next door was open. As soon as Zhang Xiangbei left. As he entered, Grandma greeted him and said, "Come and have breakfast. Drink some milk first. Your grandpa is going to buy you fried pancakes and tofu." Zhang Xiangbei sat down to drink milk, peeling an egg in his hand, and asked, "Where is Zixi?" "Still sleeping," Grandma said. "No need to go to school?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. Grandma said, "Kindergarten, what's the big deal if you go late? We'll wait until she wakes up." Just as he was talking, Zixi came down from upstairs alone with a sad face, shouting, "Grandma, you didn't call me, I'm going to be late again today." Grandma said, "What does it matter if you are late for kindergarten? The most important thing is to wake up. Who told you not to go to bed early at night?" Zhang Xiangzi opened his eyes wide, opened his mouth, and looked at Zhang Xiangbei with a surprised expression. Zhang Xiangbei smiled, and Zhang Xiangzi said, "Bei, let me tell you, Grandma is getting more and more excessive." Zhang Xiangbei smiled and asked, "What's wrong with Grandma?" "Let me tell you, she always says now that it doesn't matter if she is late for kindergarten. She doesn't know that being late every day is embarrassing and embarrassing. When we go to kindergarten, the iron gate of the kindergarten is closed. If we have to knock like this, that old man will." The teacher came to open the door and let me in, but I didn't dare to walk in. When I reached the classroom door, Zhang Xiangzi and Zhang Xiangbei complained. "What, are you afraid of being scolded by the teacher?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "The teacher doesn't know how to scold me, but I would blush. Also, there is that Zhao Ziqiang who always calls me the late king," Zhang Xiangzi said. Grandma heard Zhang Xiangzi's voice and came out of the room to take her to wash her face and brush her teeth. Zhang Xiangzi refused to go, saying she wanted to talk to Bei. She hadn't seen Bei for several days. Zhang Xiangbei looked at his watch. And Zhang Xiangzi said, "If you wash your face and brush your teeth quickly and eat breakfast well, I will take you to kindergarten." "Really?" Zhang Xiangzi bowed and nodded, then turned around and shouted to his grandmother, hurry up, let's go wash your face and brush your teeth." Zhang Xiangzi came back after washing up and sat down. Lao Zhang also came back with raw pancakes and a jar of tofu. Zhang Xiangbei ate the pancakes and asked Zhang Xiangzi, "You do not want?" Zhang Xiangzi shook his head, pointed at his two missing front teeth and said, "I already have bad teeth." Everyone laughed. Zhang Xiangzi finished a glass of milk, holding the eggs that her grandmother had peeled for her, and walked over to look at Zhang Xiangbei's watch and shouted. Bai Bei, this is terrible, the needle has reached here, we are already late. Zhang Xiangbei said to her, did you see that there is a long needle and a short needle? If the short needle comes here, we will be late. Zhang Xiangzi let out a long breath, then became worried again and shouted, but the short needle is almost here. No, Zhang Xiangbei said, the short needle moves very slowly. The long needle goes around a circle, and the short needle goes from here to here, walking such a small grid. Zhang Xiangzi was thoughtful. She turned around and went upstairs. After a while, she came down with her school bag and said to Zhang Xiangbei, Bai Bei, let me tell you, your watch is not high-end at all. Zhang Xiangbei asked, what kind of high-end watch is that? Zhang Xiangzi took out his Disney Children's digital watch from his school bag and said to Zhang Xiangbei, I have a high-end watch. Did you see it? It's a 7, 2 o'clock, and a 36. It's already 7:36. You can tell at a glance. Zhang Xiangbei teased her, it's true, yours is really high-end. Can you give me such a high-end watch? Zhang Xiangzi hesitated for a moment and said, okay, I'll put it on for you, Bai Bei. Zhang Xiangbei held the chopsticks in his right hand, holding some fried fish. He stretched out his left hand. Zhang Xiangzi took off his watch and put his own watch on Zhang Xiangbei. His mouth was flattened and his eyes were red. It was obvious that he was reluctant to part with it. Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, Zixi, you should wear this high-end watch yourself. I am an adult, and adults all wear low-end watches. Why do adults wear low-end watches? Zhang Xiangzi asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, look at your grandparents, as well as your parents, do they all wear low-end watches? In our family, only Zixi is the most advanced and wears high-end watches. But, I think Bai Bei is also high-end, Zhang Xiangzi still said, already holding the watch in his hand. Did the teacher ask you to take care of the children in the middle and primary classes? Zhang Xiangbei said, Zixi is younger than me. If I don't take care of Zixi and snatch Zixi's high-end watch to wear, will the teacher criticize me? Zhang Xiangzi thought for a moment and felt that this was a good reason. She put the watch on her hand, patted Zhang Xiangbei, and said to him, don't worry, Bai Bei, I will go and tell the teacher that Bai Bei loves Zixi very much. Zhang Xiangbei stood up and said, okay, let's go. The two people walked to the door. Zhang Xiangzi patted Zhang Xiangbei's butt and shouted, Bai Bei, Bai Bei. Zhang Xiangbei understood and asked, only for the short distance to the car, do you have to ride on your shoulders? Zhang Xiangzi nodded desperately. Zhang Xiangbei squatted down, and Zhang Xiangzi giggled and climbed onto his shoulders. Send Zhang Xiangzi to the gate of the kindergarten. The gate of the kindergarten is open, and many parents have sent their children. Zhang Xiangzi laughed when he saw it, and said to Zhang Xiangbei, Bai Bei, we are not late at all today. Zhang Xiangbei held Zhang Xiangzi's hand and walked towards the door. Zhang Xiangzi shouted to the children he knew along the way. Li Jiaying, let me tell you, this is my brother Bai Bei. Hongmenkai, do you see this? This is my brother Bai Bei. Do you still dare to bully me? Zhang Xiangbei was a little embarrassed and could only keep smiling and nodding to the parents of these children. Arriving at the gate of the kindergarten, parents were not allowed to go in. Zhang Xiangzi waved to Zhang Xiangbei, Zhang Xiangbei bent down, Zhang Xiangzi hooked Zhang Xiangbei's neck, kissed him on the cheek, walked to the gate, and looked when the teacher stood at the door to greet them. Zhang Xiangzi shouted, Teacher Ma, look, that's Bai Bei, my brother. It was Bai Bei who sent me here today. He was not late. Zhang Xiangbei stood there, waving goodbye to Zhang Xiangzi, looking a little dazed. The kindergarten building has been expanded and the playground has been renovated, but the gate is still the same as when he and Xiangnan went to kindergarten here. It's just that these teachers, I don't recognize anyone anymore. Standing here, memories flooded back to him. He and Xiang Nan walked in and out of this gate every day, as if it was yesterday. But in fact, they had been away from here for almost 20 years. Zhang Xiangbei drove the car. He wanted to drive faster and get to the office quickly. He sat down and stared at the computer in front of him. 9 o'clock this morning was the time when Daily Fresh went online. Zhang Xiangbei wanted to watch this carefully. How did the opponent reveal its true face from the chaos, and then the sword clanged? Zhang Xiangbei was anxious, but he took off the accelerator a little and slowed down the car. He deliberately wanted to appear less panicked and pretended to be calm. He murmured to himself over and over again, "Why are you in a hurry? Whether Daily Fresh comes or not, home fresh delivery is still home fresh delivery. The best way to compete with your competitors is to be yourself. It's nothing, it's really nothing. As long as you run fast enough, others can only be followers. As long as you do well enough, others can only lag behind. Zhang Xiangbei, don't worry, it's really nothing." With Zhang Xiangbei thinking like this, the car slowed down even more. The car behind him became anxious and honked his horn to urge him. A car passed him from the side and pressed down the window and turned around and cursed, "Lure." Zhang Xiangbei smiled and thought to himself that one of the basic skills to do well is to make yourself look like a fool, like a sick son and a timeless ghost. You will do things that others are not willing to do. You will do things that others think are not worth doing. When everyone is looking for shortcuts and want to fly, you are honestly walking your own path. Zhang Xiangbei parked his car in the parking lot. It was already 8:56. He walked to the door of the company. He was not in a hurry to go in. Instead, he stood there, took a deep breath, and then continued to walk inside. When Zhang Xiangbei arrived on the second floor, he immediately felt a different atmosphere than usual, a tense atmosphere, and even the air seemed to start to solidify. All the people in the service center were sitting there, staring at the computers in front of them. At 9 o'clock in the morning, it was their freest time. Everyone was sitting loosely. At this time, most people in the units had just gone to work. Many people are stuck on the road, and there are not many people looking for them on the phone or online. But now, everyone here straightened their backs and sat upright, as if waiting for something. Zhang Xiangbei knew what they were waiting for. When he walked over, everyone turned to look at him, like a line of soldiers, waiting for the commander's review before departure. Someone called softly, "Mr. Zhang." Zhang Xiangbei nodded, smiled, raised his hands towards them, and walked over. Zhang Xiangbei walked into the corridor and saw Wu Huan, Wu Yu, and Li Wei standing side by side in the corridor at the door of the conference room, waiting for him. When Zhang Xiangbei walked towards them, Wu Huan raised his wrist. He looked at his watch. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "What, I'm late." "No, there's still 1 minute," Wu Huan said. "I sent Zhang Xiangzi to kindergarten." When Zhang Xiangbei explained, he suddenly felt that he was very much like Zhang Xiangzi saying, "Teacher Ma, look, that's Bai Bei, my brother. It was Bai Bei who sent me here today. He was not late." Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help but laugh again. He felt that his smile was very superficial, hanging on his face in vain, and would float away soon. Wu Huan sighed, "You are so calm." "Really?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "Thank you, Tin Soldier, for reading the book every day, ranking third from top to bottom, 2 fishes one above the other, and the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for your monthly votes of no future. Just remember the original intention, Purple Hay, Zifi Kangsheng Edison, Sakura Eternal, Mr. SGN, and your die. Thanks for all the votes and reading. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2085. The 4 people entered the conference room and sat down in a row facing the big screen. Wu Yu opened the laptop in front of him and stared at it. On the big screen on the wall, the browser had already been opened, and the URL of Daily Fresh had been entered in the address bar. Wu Yu updated it over and over again, but there was no response so far. Zhang Xiangbei knew that news should have begun to ferment this morning. He asked, "Good news or bad news?" "Bad news," Wu Yu said. "As of 8:50 a.m., our individual user orders in Hangzhou and Shanghai have dropped by 37.8% compared to yesterday." Zhang Xiangbei's heart sank and he asked, "So many?" The other three people nodded. Wu Huan and Li Wei already knew this. Today is the Mid-Autumn Festival, a day off, and most people are at home. It stands to reason that today's individual orders from residents would have skyrocketed compared to yesterday. But instead of increasing, they actually dropped by 37.8% compared to yesterday. In addition to the parts that should have been increased, the actual decrease is far more than this. There is no doubt that the reduced parts are all waiting to see and wait for Daily Fresh to be launched. They are waiting to compare the two sides. Vegetable prices. Last night, although they won a round of home delivery, this victory did not translate into today's order. It is one thing to watch online and applaud you, but actually to place an order is related to your own pocket. At that time, it was another matter. What's more, most of the people cheering for them online last night were young people. Even the locals in Hangzhou and Shanghai did not control the purchasing power at home. Most of these can only be their future customers, but not their current customers. Their main customers, the middle-aged and elderly people, are always very rational when it comes to their wallets. The atmosphere in the conference room was a little dull, and just when they felt a little lost, the screen on the wall flashed, and then a line of orange words appeared: "Want fresh, fresh every day." Then, this line of words immediately disappeared, and another line of words appeared: "It's better to come sooner than later." After this line of text also faded, the Daily Fresh website appeared on the screen. "Go to hell," Wu Yu cursed. Everyone wanted to curse at this time, but Wu Yu cursed before them. They saw that the layout of Daily Fresh and the catalog of products could almost be said to be a replica of their Xixian delivery. The only difference is that the main color of their Xixian delivery is light green, while the main color of Daily Fresh is grass green. Zhang Xiangbei smiled bitterly and shook his head. He said, "This is a very smart move. This way, even if our customers go to them, there will be no browsing obstacles at all and they can connect seamlessly." Wu Huan sighed and said, "Yes, in this way, you don't even have to change your original shopping habits." "Look at their vegetable prices," Zhang Xiangbei said. Wu Yu clicked and opened the lower level menu. What came out were pictures and prices of leafy vegetables. Pulling down all the way, everyone present took a breath. The prices of the vegetables on Daily Fresh were higher than they are cheap. Wu Yu then ordered roots and tubers, the same was true, mushrooms were the same, even meat, eggs, poultry and aquatic products were the same. The menu of Daily Fresh is set based on the prices of their Xixian delivery dishes. Each item is basically 10% cheaper. "How is that possible?" Li Wei said. "Don't they buy their vegetables at the wholesale market? They should be more expensive than us. The purchase price of meat and aquatic products is not cheaper than ours. At this price, not only do they not have you make money, but you also lose money." Wu Huan cursed, "Here we go again." It was obvious that she was familiar with what Dobayo.com was doing and how they behaved. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Isn't it obvious? They are dumping, buying high and selling low. Relying on their strong funds, they want to fight a price war with us. If we want to fight with them and want to seize the market at a low price, we have to drop it by 20% to have a price advantage, and then our profits will be basically gone. I'm afraid that when we reduce the price by 20%, they will continue to reduce it. According to Lao Ma's style, he will not give up until he achieves his goal," Wu Huan said. "Then what should we do?" Li Wei asked. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan were silent. To be honest, they didn't know what to do. Shibo.com was very wealthy and really wanted to start a price war. Everyone had lowered their prices to the floor. Shibo.com could not afford to lose money, but they couldn't afford the loss, and they had no idea how long they could hold on. In terms of the current market share and scale of fresh food delivery, Zaixian delivery is more than 10 times that of Daily Fresh. But if they really want to fight a price war, scale will not be their advantage, but will become their liability. Can quickly bring them down. The prices of Zhang Xiangbei's Zaixian delivery vegetables are somewhat different depending on the differences in different cities in the north and south. Especially for individual varieties, those close to the place of origin will definitely be cheaper, while those farther away will be more expensive. But on average, all the dishes are roughly the same. There is a city option in the upper left corner of their website. Generally speaking, when consumers open the website, the system will automatically match your city based on your IP address and the location shown in your registration information, but if consumers manually select, for example, if consumers in Beijing want to choose Shanghai, they can also go to the Shanghai page and see the food prices in Shanghai. For Daily Fresh, they currently only have 2 cities, Shanghai and Hangzhou. Even if they sell at a loss and sell at a loss, they will only lose money in these 2 cities. If Zaixian delivery needs to be adjusted, it must adjustment across the board, all cities will be adjusted downwards, you can't say only Shanghai and Hangzhou are adjusted. In that case, when consumers see that the prices in their own city are so different from those in Shanghai and Hangzhou, they will be drowned in curses and saliva. There is no need for Daily Fresh to fight again, and consumers will scold them. I'm so obsessed with the internet. Especially those cities in the same region, the Yangtze River Delta, such as Nanjing, Suzhou, Ningbo, Shaoxing, Wuxi, Changzhou, Jiaxing, etc., they saw that the prices of vegetables in Shanghai and Hangzhou were actually 20 to 30% cheaper than in their own cities, and they were like profiteers. The hat will fly over soon. At that time, Zhang Xiangbei and the others couldn't argue. They couldn't tell everyone because we wanted to have a price war with Daily Fresh in Shanghai and Hangzhou. If that happened, citizens in other cities would eat their pots. They welcome Master Wang by beating gongs and drums to welcome Daily Fresh to enter their city, and they are also welcome to come to our city to fight a price war. For Daily Fresh, they are definitely losing money now, but they are losing money to 2 cities, and they can afford it. Teacher Ma has a big pocket and is not short of money. As for Zaixian Shui, if they are losing means losing dozens of cities, which they cannot afford. Before Daily Fresh launches a price war, it must have already calculated the score, knowing that with this step, it can force the other party into a corner. These hooligans, Li Wei cursed angrily. Zhang Xiangbei asked Wu Yu, what is the growth of orders in these 2 cities now? It's almost negligible, Wu Yu said. It's so cruel, it's going to push us to death, Wu Huan cursed. Zhang Xiangbei rested his arms on the conference table, intertwined his fingers, and pressed his 2 thumbs together against his upper lip. He stared at the screen on the wall for a while, then turned to ask Wu Yu. How is the situation with the company's customers? Wu Yu said, orders from unit customers have been normal since yesterday until today. As before, the number of orders has dropped slightly, but the amount has increased. Wu Huan reminded, starting from today, it is a short holiday, with 3 days of rest. The school is on holiday, but the canteen is not on holiday. All hotels are doing better business than before. The ones that have decreased are only government agencies, factories, and mines. About half are those who are resting and those who are still working. Yes, orders for food and drink have more than tripled, Wu Yu said. Zhang Xiangbei said ha and smiled a little ugly. He said, it's true that when the east is dark and the west is bright, some people are happy and some are sad. At this time, Xili and the others are laughing. The other three people in the conference room couldn't laugh. Li Wei said. The order for the unit was placed last night, and it will not be changed tomorrow if it is placed today. The changes in the order for the unit will not be visible until at least this short holiday. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and felt that what Li Wei said made sense. The main reason why unit orders had not changed was that compared with individual residents, unit users were more cautious about changing suppliers. At the very least, they had to ask for approval from their leaders. The leaders are on vacation today, tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow, so they have to wait until they get back to work. Changes in the unit's customers can be seen in at least 4 days. Zhang Xiangbei said, the decrease in orders from individual customers may also be due to the long holiday. Many families may be traveling, etc. Wu Yu, 3 days is a cycle. For individual customers, if there is no order for 3 days, it is determined that this customer has been lost, and using this standard, you can calculate the loss of customers. Wu Yu said yes. Wu Huan looked at his watch. It was already 9:30. According to their experience, Daily Fresh went online at 9 o'clock. After half an hour, the first wave of climax should have passed. Wu Huan asked Wu Yu. Has the situation in Hangzhou and Shanghai improved now? Wu Yu shook his head. Someone knocked on the door. Wu Huan said come in. The door opened, and it was Sun Xiangyang who came in. Sun Xiangyang looked pale. When Zhang Xiangbei saw him, his heart sank again, knowing that there was no good news. Sure enough, Sun Xiangyang said, there's news from over there. The side Sun Xiangyang was talking about was referring to Daily Fresh. There was a worker in the workshop below them. His sister worked at the Daily Fresh Hangzhou branch and was the customer service staff at the customer center. Sun Xiangyang and her brother asked her out. After having a meal, she added Sun Xianjiang's WeChat account and promised to send him a WeChat message if anything happened at Daily Fresh. What do you say? Zhang Xiangbei asked. She said that it was too late for them to process the orders. Just now, they were all cheering. She also said that a manager came and said that in addition to 3 times the salary today, everyone will receive overtime red envelopes. Sun Xiangyang said. People in the conference room had mixed feelings after hearing this. They had experienced days like this more than once. Orders were pouring in. Everyone's eyes were shining with excitement and their faces were flushed. They were filled with such applause and cheers. All come from the heart, and can't be stopped. Now, things have turned, and they are no longer the ones cheering. Zhang Xiangbei thought about it. This was especially true for the people at Daily Fresh. They had just lost a battle last night and were holding their breath in their hearts. At this time, when faced with the snowflakes of orders, the breath that I was holding could finally be let out. Thank you Mr. SGN, don't see a future but remember the original intention, Shachen Mood, HMZSM, Book Friends 201808102039134995 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2086. Afternoon, Zhang Xiangbei and his colleagues began to increase their orders for home delivery in Shanghai and Hangzhou, but the quantity was still much lower than before. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said, at 10 o'clock in the evening, after today's data comes out, we will convene a meeting with people from Shanghai and Hangzhou. Wu Huan said yes, I will inform you. Zhang Xiangbei walked outside to take a look at the large office area. Here, the people in the customer center were still very busy. They were responsible for handling business across the country. Shanghai and Hangzhou were only a small part of them. In other cities, the number of orders today has increased, so for them, the volume of business has not decreased. In contrast, they no longer have the same nervousness they felt when Zhang Xiangbei first arrived in the morning. As long as people are busy, they will forget all the tension, anxiety, etc. Zhang Xiangbei walked to the workshop downstairs to take a look. It was still very busy here. The demand from unit users, especially those in hotels, had increased today, so it was not that busy here. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan are not so naive. They know that the launch of Daily Fresh today will definitely have an impact on them, so they have reduced the purchase quantity in Shanghai and Hangzhou, but it does not seem to be the case in the workshop. Not that obvious. Even the cold chain trucks for delivery still have to leave. In each community, the number of customers purchasing their products has decreased, but there are still some. Even if there is only one company, they still have to deliver. Zhang turned around to the north. He saw that the entire company was still normal, and he was slightly relieved. At this time, what he was most afraid of was that people inside were panicking, which would make management more difficult. I just don't know how long this normality can last, whether the loss of customers in Hangzhou and Shanghai will worsen, and whether Debo.com will speed up its deployment in other cities across the country. If so, it won't be 2 o'clock blooming. Instead, they had to deal with their challenges all over the country. All of this is unknown to Zhang Xiangbei. All he knows is that in recent years, as Daibao has become a unicorn company, when they launch an attack on a certain company, they rarely fail. For example, if it fails, it is because the opponent must be large enough. For example, their challenge to WeChat failed because Tencent had enough strength to compete with them. But if it really blossomed into a price war and burned each other's money, Zhang Xiangbei knew that he would burn them. But, that's asking for death. Zhang Xiangbei definitely cannot take the road of burning money. He told himself that he must be firm on this. But besides burning money and fighting a price war, is there any other way? Zhang Xiangbei stood at the gate and sighed. He felt that there was chaos in front of him and he couldn't see the direction clearly. Zhang Xiangbei felt a little bored. He walked out, walked through the logistic space, and walked to the opposite side. Gugu was on a break today and did not go to work. Zhang Xiangbei walked into the food and drink and saw that it was very busy, but Xiaoli neither Du Tao nor Du Tao were there. Zhang Xiangbei asked, and someone told him that there was no way. Today was too busy and there were really not enough manpower. They themselves also went to the guests' homes to serve. By the way, your dad was upstairs. Zhang Xiangbei did not go upstairs, but turned around and walked out. He knew that if he went upstairs, his father would definitely ask him how his day was. The last thing Zhang Xiangbei wanted to tell anyone now was how his day was. Zhang Xiangbei walked back to his company, went upstairs and walked into the office. For the next whole day, he sat in his office blankly. Even dinner was brought to him by Wu Huan. Wu Huan came in twice and saw Zhang Xiangbei sitting there blankly. Wu Huan didn't say anything and left. At 10 o'clock in the evening, Wu Huan walked into Zhang Xiangbei's office. It was dark inside. Wu Huan reached out and turned on the light. He saw Zhang Xiangbei's eyes open. He had been sitting in the dark. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, "It's time, everyone is waiting for you." Zhang Xiangbei said yes. He stood up, walked into the bathroom, stood in front of the sink, and looked at his face in the mirror. His face was ugly, like a zombie face. He soaked his hands under the faucet and slapped himself. "Face, open your mouth wide, move your chin left and right, move the nerves on your face, and then wipe it with a towel." He looked at the face in the mirror, which was not so ugly. Zhang Xiangbei smiled at himself in the mirror and tried he twice before walking out and going to the conference room. In the conference room, CEO Wu Huan, Ku Liwei, CTO Wu Yu, CFO Ma Lin, and CPO Sun Xiangyang are all here. The general manager of their Hangzhou branch is concurrently served by Li Wei. On the screen, Xiao Wu, Zhou Ruyi, Dingmi Yulai, Ma Jian, and 4 others were in a conference room in Shanghai. Wu Yu announced the figures they estimated. If we add the number of individual orders from residents that should have increased today but did not, the actual decrease in their individual orders today should be about 46%. Many of them were placed last night. Tonight, so far, no further orders have been placed. This is easy to understand, Wu Huan said. Daily Fresh was launched at 9 o'clock this morning. Some people who are used to ordering the next day's menu at night saw the prices of Daily Fresh today. I felt I was at a disadvantage, so I turned around and placed an order with them. Wu Yu looked at Zhang Xiangbei and said to him, "There is another situation." "What's going on?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "The transfer of orders from unit customers is faster than we imagined. According to the data just compiled, many customers have not placed orders," Wu Yu said. Zhang Xiangbei was shocked. Orders from corporate customers are the most stable. They are different from individual customers. Individual customers may not place orders one day for one reason or another. Corporate customers will not, except for government agencies. The cafeteria will be closed on rest days. On other days, it is almost untouchable. Moreover, the demand is also best estimated. Orders from unit customers will also be concentrated between after dinner and before 10 o'clock every day. After 10 o'clock, the data for today's unit customers will have been released. During the 3-day long break, the canteens of government agencies were closed. Wu Yu knew this situation, and the reduction he was talking about definitely did not refer to this part. What types of customers are they? Have the data been released? Zhang Xiangbei asked. It's out, Wu Yu said. They are basically small restaurants. Yes, these roadside shops are the most sensitive to prices, even more sensitive than many residential customers. When they opened the website of Daily Fresh, they found that the prices of the dishes on it were so much cheaper that the restaurant owners did not care. Without hesitation, they turned around and went there to buy the groceries they needed for tomorrow. They didn't need to ask any leader for instructions. It's all bad news, Wu Yu. Don't you have any good news? Li Wei asked. Wu Yu stared at the computer in front of him without raising his head, and kept tapping the keyboard with his fingers. He said, "I just discovered a phenomenon. I don't know if it's good news." "What's happening?" Wu Huan asked. "Members who participated in our Suishaobang activity have a high proportion of placing orders, and it seems that there are very few transfer orders," Wu Yu said. "Of course this is good news," Wu Huan said. "It means they are our most loyal customers. What they value is not the price of food, but value determination," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Wu Huan is right. These are indeed our most loyal customers. They have financial ability themselves and are not so sensitive to vegetable prices. They buy vegetables online just for the sake of profit. Convenient. This is indeed good news for us, indicating that they recognize our services and the company's values. The Suishivang activity, from a certain perspective, has tied them to our company, and their recognition of our company is the highest." Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and said to Wu Yu, "You should pay close attention to the trends of these customers. If even they start to wander, it means that not only do we have no advantage in price, but we also lag behind in terms of service and other aspects. Then we really deserve to be damned. Can the movements of this group of customers serve as a wake-up call for us?" The other people nodded, and Wu Yu said, "Okay. I will immediately find a way to design a model when I get back, so that I can monitor their movements." Wu Huan looked at everyone and said to them, "The emergence of Daily Fresh has diverted a large part of our customers. This is already a fact. I don't know whether the situation will continue to get worse and to what extent it will get worse. I think Mr. Zhang also feels the same in his heart. There is definitely no bottom. I only know that the pressure on us from Daily Fresh will definitely not stop. If they only have this one move, it won't be a treasure hunt as I understand it. We must be mentally prepared for worse situations. At the same time, everyone should also think of a way. Since the opponent has already made a move, Let's think about it. How should we act? Didn't they reduce the price by 10%? I think we can also reduce it by 10%, Zhou Ruyi said. Their dishes are all wholesale. They have no profit by reducing it by 10%. We can reduce it by 100%, 10 times there is profit. If we all reduce prices by 10%, we will be at most the same as them. Wouldn't we have a price advantage? Sun Xiangyang said. But this way, if everyone has the same price, we can at least stop losing customers so quickly, Zhou Ruyi said. Actually, I haven't calculated whether there will be any profits from a 10% reduction. I think it's quite embarrassing, Malin, the company's CFO and Chief Financial Officer, said. You must know that the 10% reduction is a general reduction, including meat, poultry, and aquatic products, seasonings, etc. Our purchasing price for this part is similar to theirs, and our gross profit is only 6 to 9%. Everyone understands, that is to say, as long as the price is reduced by 10%, they will also lose money on this part. They have to use the profits from vegetables to make up for this part of the loss. Whether they can make up for it depends on actuarial calculation, because in the same order, this part is often of high value and accounts for a large proportion, while the proportion of vegetables is relatively small. However, I agree with Mr. Zhou's suggestion. Malin changed the subject and said, since we have been forced to this point, it is impossible not to fight. I agree to reduce the price of vegetables in Hangzhou and Shanghai by 100%. 10 As long as we can maintain an overall balance and avoid losses, it doesn't matter to us. Our other cities have good profitability. If we look at the big picture, even if Shanghai and Hangzhou are not profitable and basically remain flat, our company's overall profitability will probably not drop by more than 1%. What if they lower it by another 10% the day after tomorrow, and we will also lower it by 10%, Wu Huan asked. Moreover, once the price war starts, there will be no end. I can guarantee that as long as we lower it by 10%, it will be reduced by another 10% soon, and if we follow suit, they will definitely continue to reduce it until all the food is given away, and they will fight us. Wu Huan's words made everyone look at each other in shock. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you to Evergreen Yan Dottie, Lu Jingwei, Shachin Mood, Lulu 6717 P11, Win San Liu, Feng Konghu 1974, 1390, 628, 1900, and Book Friends 201811301053059444 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2087. Mr. Wu said, this is one of them. Zhang Xiangbei said, have you ever thought about it, if we start a price war with Daily Fresh in Hangzhou and Shanghai and lower the vegetable prices, what will happen in other cities? How will customers feel when they see the prices of food in these 2 cities? They don't have this pressure. They only have business in these 2 cities anyway. What about us? What the hell, then we will be scolded, Zhou Ruyi sighed. Yes, we will bet on the credibility of our company. Of course, there is another way. Zhang Xiangbei paused and continued, that is to adjust prices in other cities to follow these 2 cities. Then we will take our own lives, Malin said. There is no need to go on about this issue. Everyone knows that if they start a price war with Daily Fresh, it will be a dead end for them. And Daily Fresh, they have enough capital to watch Zaixian Fresh Delivery, the largest and currently only competitor, died, and they began to raise vegetable prices again, raising the prices to higher than the original normal. They exchanged money for time and space, and then they can get back what they lost earlier. Zaixian Delivery has become a talking point and a laughing stock. In this world, No one will truly sympathize with the weak or the guy who lost. He will only become a negative example. People will say, Xi delivery send was how it was in the past, and it is how it is now. Home delivery may even turn into a bloody case that will make latecomers afraid to enter this industry again and challenge the treasure hunting. Zhang Xiangbei said, I know it is difficult to position ourselves, and it is also difficult to admit our weaknesses. In a price war, we have no advantage compared with Daily Fresh. It can even be said that we are not their opponent at all. The power of capital is powerful, but we do not have this capital. The current situation is that we are the defender, and the opponent is the attacker, and the attack is fierce. What we have to do now is not to think about how to fight with them, or in other words, we are to temporarily avoid their edge and adopt on the defensive. We must focus on how to defend our existing customers. We must also admit that under the other party's price offensive, it is unrealistic to expect that customers will not be lost. What we want to think about is how to slow down this trend as much as possible and reduce our losses. As long as we hold on to this wave, we can reduce the losses of both parties. Only when the battle becomes a protracted one can we win back the customers we lost little by little. The first step is to hold on. As long as we hold on and fight a protracted war, I believe they will not be our opponents. Why? I haven't figured it out, I just have this feeling. When I figure it out, I will tell you that Hangzhou and Shanghai are now. Don't think about how to expand our business and increase our market share. In a word, just hold on, and holding on means victory. In the two conference rooms, everyone was deep in thought after hearing Zhang Xiangbei's words. Ding Mian tried his best to break the silence first. He said, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Wu, I have an idea. Say, Zhang Xiangbei said. Of course, this is just my personal thought. I have not yet reported it to President Wu, President Zhou, and President Ma. I just listened to what President Zhang said. Zhang Xiangbei interrupted him, don't be rigid in the meeting. There is no big or small meeting room. You can say whatever comes to mind. You can say anything. Okay, Ding said with all his strength, I think it is almost impossible for us to secure each residential customer now. They are choosing by hand. If they think it is cheaper, they will choose that one. For a while, I felt that it was better to stay here, they would come back naturally, and we just had to do our own thing well. When Ding Mianli spoke, he used the words Daily Fresh and Xi Fresh Delivery instead of Daily Fresh and Daily Fresh because he felt that the words Daily Fresh were a bit hard to say. Tell me the key points, Wu Huan said. Okay, I think there is one thing we can do, and that is to first stabilize the big customers. A big customer is equivalent to the purchase volume of a community or even several communities. It is also our main source of profit. As long as these big customers are, if our customers are stable, our fundamentals will be maintained. There are two other advantages of big customers. First, they don't care so much about the price of vegetables. Second, we have already had contacts with these big customers. During the holidays, we always remember them, and the emotional foundation is there. I think, now, we should visit them one by one, listen to their opinions in person, communicate with them, and stabilize them. As soon as Ding Mianli finished speaking, Wu Huan shouted, I think this is a good idea. Mr. Ding is right. Although it is a holiday now, these big customers are not on holiday. We can start visiting them tomorrow. The so-called big customers are large hotels, universities, hospitals, and other units. Hotels are their busiest time at this time. Of course they will not have holidays. The canteens of universities and hospitals are also open as usual and are responsible for the general affairs of procurement. People in the office and logistics department also work overtime, so it's not difficult to find them. I think it's okay. Here in Shanghai, Lao Ding and I will split up tomorrow and visit them one by one. Try to spend a week to visit all the big customers and stabilize them, Zhou Ruyi said, and Ding reluctantly agreed. Here in Hangchang, Li Wei and I will work separately, Wu Huan said. There are a few big customers, so we don't need to visit them and leave them to Mr. Zhang. Everyone laughed, knowing that the big customers Wu Huan mentioned were Tuxianjiayuan Hotel, Catering Men and Women, Splendid China Group, Black Forest Food and LinkedIn Foreign Language School. Zhang Xiangbei also thought Ding Mianli's suggestion was very good. He said, another point is that if we encounter big customers who really care about the price, we can give them separate discounts in the form of rebates, so that the impact will not spread. It's better not to use it. It's better to unify the sales policy, otherwise it will be chaotic. As long as we do our job well, the big customers really won't care about the price difference, Wu Huan said, but we can communicate with them and explain the truth. Tell them, if our Zaixian disappears, they will be waiting to be slaughtered. I think they should know this. Okay, it's up to you, Zhang Xiangbei said, but when you go to visit customers, you can't go empty-handed. Ask the consultant, Wu Huan said. The things he sells are not embarrassing and the customers are happy. Zhang Xiangbei immediately called Gu Gong and asked him if he had anything new that could be used as a souvenir. To whom? Asked the consultant. Zhang Xiangbei told him, and Gu Gong immediately said, you have only eaten salami, but you don't know that sausages can be eaten raw, right? I just made a batch of sausages that can be eaten raw, and they can be used as companions for you hand gift. Great, Zhang Xiangbei shouted. When do you want it? Asked the consultant. Tomorrow morning, Zhang Xiangbei said. Both Hangzhou and Shanghai will go there. Unfortunately, it's too late, Gu Gong said. Why, didn't you say it was already done? Zhang Xiangbei asked. The sausages have been made, but the outer packaging has not yet been delivered. I originally wanted to wait for the outer packaging to arrive. After it was packaged, I would take pictures and launch it on the Zaixian delivery website, Gu Gong said. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and said, it doesn't matter, just use a plastic bag to simply vacuum pack it. It is a new product, so it is normal to have no packaging. It can be said that it is for them to try. That's right, the customer dares to accept it like this. It looks like a small gift, not like a bribe, Zhou Ruyi shouted. Okay, I'll rush to the factory right now and organize the workers to pack it. The Shanghai side will tell me how much it needs. It can be sent out at about 5 or 6 in the morning, Gu Gong said. The first step in the response plan is to stabilize the big customers. Wu Huan then told everyone that if the delivery staff encounters daily fresh personnel in the community, they should not conflict with them and pay attention to protecting the company. The second one is that the customer center should provide services to customers more patiently and meticulously. Especially the elderly customers who call to place orders, Zhang Xiangbei said. Daily Fresh probably can't take care of them. We now have to do a good job in maintaining the orders no matter how small they are. Every customer needs go for it. Li Wei said, I know and I will explain it. Today's meeting ends here. Everyone stood up and prepared to leave. Zhang Xiangbei stopped Wu Yu and Ma Lin and asked them to wait. 2 people came over and Zhang Xiangbei said to them. Theoretically, the orders we lost are the current orders of Daily Fresh. You 2 can make statistics and do the calculations. Using this number of orders as the base, combined with the vegetable price and the purchase price of other commodities, you will see, look at the current selling price of Daily Fresh and figure out how much money they will lose in a day. Wu Yu agreed with Ma Lin and walked out. Why, are you still worried about them? Wu Huan asked. No, I want to calculate how long they can last, Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhang Xiangbei was so busy today that he ignored one issue, that is, today is the first day that Daily Fresh goes online. Those people from their Zaixian delivery are not the only ones who care about this matter. There are also several shareholders at the back, Zhang Chen, Xiaofang, Lu Yun, and Ziahu. They are also concerned. They are concerned but they don't even call to ask. This is too abnormal. Zhang Xiangbei is too busy today to put such abnormal things were taken for granted, without even thinking about them. In the afternoon, Zhang Chen returned from food and drink to his office in Banmuishan building. Xiao Fang and Lu Yun were waiting for him here. The three of them had visited the Daily Fresh website in the morning and were interested in the dishes on the website. The three of them didn't feel strange at all. Even Zhang Chen expected that teacher Ma would do something like this. This is not a new trick. This is the simplest, most direct, and crude trick to attack competitors. Merchants and vendors have been using it for thousands of years, and it is still used frequently today. Gallens uses this trick to make everything into microwave ovens. Are all the companies beaten down? What they are worried about is that Zhang Xiangbei will suddenly increase the pressure today. Can he bear it? They knew that every phone call with even concern would only add more pressure to Zhang Xiangbei today, so they did not call. Even Zhang Chen, who had already arrived at the eating and drinking man and woman, did not call. Come and see. Xiao Fang and Lu Yun are calculating the margin, that is, in order to fight a price war this time, Mr. Ma's psychological bottom line is, how much food and grass he may spend, no matter how much money you have in your pocket, he will not give it all. All come to fight a price war. In particular, Daily Fresh is not all of Mr. Ma, but only a part of him. It is impossible for him to risk everything and give it a go. That would not be a business, but a desperate effort. The two people calculated a number, which was 20 billion. They felt that this was the limit of teacher Ma. Daily Fresh could burn up to 20 billion, and it couldn't be more, otherwise their annual report would be ugly, right? Investors have no way to explain. After calculating this, Lu Yun and Xiao Fang felt confident. Lu Yun called Xiahua, and Xiahua said yes, I will fly to Hangzhou tomorrow. Thank you ZSQ. My heart dances, and book friends 201809062232049344 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2088. Zhang Xiangbei had just got into the car and was about to drive to work. His cell phone rang. Zhang Xiangbei looked down and saw that it was Hui Huan. He picked it up. Bai Bei, where are you? Hui Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, I just came out of home and am going to the company. That's just on my way, Hui Huan said, come to my place first. I have something to show you. Zhang Xiangbei said yes. Zhang Xiangbei drove his car and arrived at Banmuishan building. He thought that Aunt Hui Huan just wanted him to see something and it wouldn't take long. Zhang Xiangbei didn't drive to the underground parking lot, but parked the car. At the gate of Banmuishan building, it's not yet time for the company upstairs to work anyway, so there's not anyone here yet. A security guard was chatting with the security guard from the Hangzhou center next door in the distance. He saw someone parking his car at the gate and ran over quickly, trying to drive him away. When he got closer, he saw Zhang Xiangbei getting out of the car and said quickly, So early, Mr. Zhang. Zhang Xiangbei pointed upward and said, I have something to do at Hui Huan's place, so I will stop for a while and leave soon. It's okay, you go ahead, the security guard said. Zhang Xiangbei raised his hand to express his gratitude. He walked towards the sightseeing elevator outside the gate without stopping. The security guard ran over after him. Zhang Xiangbei thought something was wrong with him, so he slowed down and the security guard ran in front of him. While running, he said, The elevator hasn't opened yet, I'll open it for you. Zhang Xiangbei said quickly, Thank you. No big deal. As he spoke, the security guard took out the key from his pocket, opened the elevator, and pressed the door open button for Zhang Xiangbei. He waited until he entered the elevator before letting go of his hand. Zhang Xiangbei waved to him again from the slowly closing elevator door and said, Thank you. Zhang Xiangbei arrived upstairs. The courtyard of Tuxianjiayuan Hotel was empty. The row of shops were not open yet. There was only a cleaning lady who was mopping the Brazilian butterfly green fire-burned stone floor in the courtyard. The door of Tuxianjiayuan Hotel was only half open. Zhang Xiangbei walked in. It was still early, and the chef and waiters had not yet gone to work. There were no lights in the entire hall, and the light was dim. The sunlight coming in from the window can still distinguish the scene inside, so that you can't lose sight of the road. Zhang walked north through the entire hall and towards the food passage connecting the restaurant to the kitchen. The food passage was brightly lit and was the brightest place in the huge hall. Hui Huan's office is in a corridor across from the food delivery aisle. There are 5 offices in the corridor, namely Hui Huan, Finance, Executive Chef, Restaurant Manager, and Hotel Office. There is also a small conference room, which is used for regular meetings. If you want to hold a meeting with a larger number of people, go to the conference room of Ben Muishan Group upstairs. Zhang Xiangbei walked into the corridor and saw that only Hui Huan's office light was on and the door was open. Zhang Xiangbei walked over and saw Hui Huan sitting there eating breakfast with a bowl of noodles she made herself. Seeing Zhang Xiangbei come in, Hui Huan stood up. Zhang Xiangbei stretched out his head to take a look and said with a smile, "And Hui Huan, she looks very tempting. Didn't you have breakfast? If you haven't eaten, I'll make it for you," Hui Huan said. "I've eaten. If I don't have breakfast, I can't go out," Zhang Xiangbei said. "To be honest, sometimes I want to go out for a bowl of pianurchuan, but it's impossible." "Your grandfather bought it for you?" Hui Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Yes, grandpa or grandpa, I almost forgot what a noodle shop and a breakfast shop look like." Hui Huan snorted, "Isn't it good to eat ready-made food? You don't know how to cherish blessings. Let's go to the kitchen." "Wait until you finish eating," Zhang Xiangbei said. "We'll eat when we get back. Don't be nagging. Let's go." Hui Huan said and walked out the door, followed by Zhang Xiangbei. When I walked into the back kitchen from the food delivery channel, my eyes suddenly darkened. The entire back kitchen was dark. Because there were no windows and no lights on, it was even dimmer than the light in the restaurant outside. Zhang Xiangbei shouted, "It's quite frugal. You haven't gone to work yet. Why are you leaving the lights on? Be careful and follow me," Hui Huan said. The two of them walked through the long back kitchen and reached the water table inside. The water table was brightly lit and a busy scene. There were more than a dozen helpers washing vegetables, soaking ingredients, and peeling potatoes. One person was peeling potatoes, and another person was pouring flour into a large aluminum basin, which contained pig intestines that needed to be cleaned. The supervisor of the water station saw them and came over, leading them to a row of 4 plastic turnover boxes. In the turnover box, 2 baskets are vegetables and 2 baskets are cucumbers. Hui Huan pointed to the 2 baskets of vegetables and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "These 2 baskets of vegetables, one is yours, and the other is from Daily Fresh. Look which basket is yours. They are both original, just as they were delivered. I just asked them to replace them. Your basket. In these 2 baskets, the vegetables in each basket are evenly sized. The leaves of the vegetables stand out, as if they are still growing vigorously in the basket. There are also some big and small in the basket, and the leaves of the vegetables look a little soft." Zhang Xiangbei pointed to the basket of uniformly sized vegetables and said confidently, "This basket belongs to us." "Say what you have chosen." Hui Huan rolled her eyes at Zhang Xiangbei. "Are you sure?" "Sure, how could I not know my own food?" Zhang Xiangbei said. "Okay, you're right, what about cucumbers?" "Which basket is yours?" Hui Huan asked. Zhang Xiangbei poked the good quality basket with his foot and said, "This one." Hui Huan still asked, "Are you sure?" "Okay." Zhang Xiangbei nodded. "Let's go back to the office." Hui Huan said, "You were right, bye-bye." While walking on the road, Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Aunt Huihuan, why do you have daily fresh dishes here? Tell me first, Bai Bei, why were you so confident just now that those 2 baskets of good-looking vegetables were yours?" Huihuan asked. "It's very simple. Our vegetables are not the same as the other day. The green vegetables are a little old at first glance," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Also, we source directly from the place of origin, but it is still different from ordinary vegetable vendors." "What's the difference?" Huihuan asked. "Whether it is our own farm or the vegetable companies, cooperatives and family farms we cooperate with, we implement standardized management and sign agreements. We can say that we control the entire process, from what vegetables to grow, how many acres of land, to how much land is used. The seeds, including daily field management, are all within our control. In this way, we can ensure the quality of the finished vegetables. Second, when the vegetables arrive in our workshop, we will also conduct a round of screening. A basket of vegetables of different sizes will never happen. This is not because the taste of the vegetables will be bad, but because of the sales. It's not a good idea to meet. We have our own food factory. Selected dishes like this will be sent to the food factory as soon as possible. In this way, we can not only ensure the freshness of the raw materials in our food factory, but also ensure that the dishes delivered are in perfect condition." When Zhang Xiangbei was talking, the 2 of them had already walked back to Huihuan's office. When Huihuan listened to Zhang Xiangbei's words, she kept nodding. When Zhang Xiangbei finished speaking, Huihuan said, "No wonder you are so confident. It turns out that a lot of work has been done before." Just as Zhang Xiangbei was about to ask, Huihuan continued. "Daily Fresh was launched yesterday, so I placed a small order to try out just to see how the quality of their dishes was. It was delivered this morning. I came over to see it and breathed a sigh of relief." "Bai Bei, you know why?" Zhang Xiangbei shook his head, and Huihuan said, "I'm sure they are no match for your Zai Xian Xiao." Zhang Xiangbei sighed and said, "But they took a lot of our orders yesterday." "Because the price is cheaper than yours, right?" Huihuan asked. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. Huihuan said, "The dish just now is 10% cheaper. I don't think it is cheap either. The quality of the dish is there. Isn't there a saying that you are not afraid of not knowing the goods, but you are afraid of comparing goods? What's more, like us for such a unit, you can rest assured that the people in charge of purchasing are all experts, and they can tell at a glance which one is good and which one is bad. Bai Bei, I asked you to come over and see me. I am not telling you this to make you proud, but to tell you that you must believe in yourself and insist on doing the right things. Don't be let down just because of a temporary setback." They brought them to the ditch, and followed them to wildly cut prices and relax management and quality control. "You are the same as our hotel. Why does a plate of fish-flavored shredded pork only cost 8 yuan in a cheap store, but we have to sell it for 68 yuan? What about the dining environment and service level, as well as the selection of materials, for the one that sells for 8 yuan? Can it be the same as us? Our price is reasonable, and the customers who come to eat are also aware of it, so in many cases, cheapness does not mean everything. Believe in yourself and persevere. You will definitely become the winner in the end." From these 2 baskets of food, we can see that the management of Daily Fresh is not good and is not on the same level as you. Wu Huan is still very capable. You guys be more confident. Zhang Xiangbei was surprised. He scratched his head and asked, "Aunt Huihuan, this is a bit profound. How can you tell from 2 baskets of vegetables that their management is not good?" Huihuan smiled, touched the table with her fingers, and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "Where is this place?" "Tuxianjiayuan Hotel, the largest hotel in Hangzhou. For your fresh food delivery company, we should be a big customer, right? In the name of Tuxianjiayuan Hotel, I placed 2 orders, each 15 pounds of Shanghai greens and cucumbers. If you were an order taker and saw the words Tuxianjiayuan Hotel, shouldn't you be alert and at least report it to your supervisor? Then I saw that we only placed such a small order. Can we tell from the first reaction that we are trying to place an order? I believe it was not just me yesterday, but many of your customers also tried this. When you see a trial order from a big customer, you should at least use some snacks to prepare the goods for this order, right? You have also seen the result, what is delivered. Even if you deal with big customers so carelessly, you can imagine how you deal with ordinary customers. Do you think there is any problem with this kind of management? Good management must be able to penetrate every pore of your enterprise and every employee below. When I first went to manage the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Xiaosha, your father told me something. The story about how vicious cleaners and bad security guards can bring down a hotel really shocked me. And Huihuan, your words have inspired me a lot, thank you. Zhang Xiangbei said. To be honest, when I saw our orders dropped sharply yesterday, I really doubted myself. Don't be afraid, Bai Bei, Huihuan said, you may still go down today. They are doing the same business as you, and the food prices are cheaper than yours. Customers are just curious and will place orders to try it. No shop around. But there is a bottom when it falls, and once it reaches that bottom, it won't fall again. Hui has passed the test, and those customers who care more about quality will slowly return. When that time comes, Bai Bei, let me tell you, that will be the tragedy of Daily Fresh, because such customers, after trying it and leaving, will never be able to go back. They will lose this customer forever. When every large hotel in Hangzhou opens, I will lose some of my customers. But what I am most happy about is that it won't take long for these people to come back. They told me that they still like to eat here. I'm used to eating here, and I'm not used to going to other places. Really, Bai Bei, that was when I had the greatest sense of accomplishment. I felt like I was an invincible little strongman. You were setting up hotels one after another, but you still couldn't do anything to me, even if you stole food from me. Use. Thank you, and Huihuan, Zhang Xiangbei said. Oh. What's wrong? Huihuan asked. I just forgot to take a photo. Now, did the ant who washed the dishes put all the dishes together? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Huihuan smiled, I have already taken pictures for you. Not only did I take photos, I also asked the security guards who received the food to take a complete video, from the time when their food came off their cold chain truck to the time behind us. Kitchen, and your dishes have arrived, all the way to the back kitchen, there are complete videos. I thought it might be useful to you. Zhang Xiangbei chuckled, and Huihuan is still careful. Stop flattering, you can go, I want to continue eating noodles. Huihuan shouted to Zhang Xiangbei outside, I will send you the video and photos later. Zhang Xiangbei stood up and said, okay, I'll get out right away. Thank you, Aunt Huihuan. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes for It's Not Impossible World, Silent Heart, and Book Friends 202011091113511923. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2089. Zhang Xiangbei arrived at the company and went upstairs. Instead of going to his own office, he went straight to Wu Huan's office. Wu Huan was standing in front of the cabinet flipping through a folder when he saw Zhang Xiangbei coming in and turned to look at him. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said, call Li Wei to the conference room, and ask Zhou Ruyi and Ding Mianli to come online as well. I can't come. Li Wei went directly from home to the client. I'm going to make arrangements here and leave for Xiaosha University town immediately. Zhou Ruyi and Ding Mianli are probably on the way now. Wu Huan closed the folder, put it back in the cabinet, turned around and spoke to Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei said okay, then you can start a WeChat group. Why are you looking so excited? Wu Huan asked. I have something good for you to see. Zhang Xiangbei smiled mysteriously, turned around and walked out. He walked into his office, sat down on the sofa, and took out his mobile phone from his bag. When he saw that Wu Huan was already inviting him to join the group, he immediately joined the group. Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help laughing when he saw the group name of the 5 people who said Mr. Zhang has good things. Everyone is here, share whatever you have, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei sent the 2 videos and photos sent to him by Wu Huan to the group. After a while, Li Wei asked. What's this? Zhang Xiangbei sent a long string of more than 30 voice messages, roughly explaining the matter to them, and everyone who came back had happy expressions. We are still very powerful, right? Zhou Ruyi asked. Zhang Xiangbei said of course. Zhang Xiangbei, I thought of one thing, so I want to tell you. When you go to customers, don't let them choose one or the other. Only buy our goods, not daily fresh, otherwise customers will be disgusted. And you can let customers place a trial order first and compare the goods from both parties. Wu Huan is right, you are afraid of comparing goods. The people responsible for purchasing in each unit have sharp eyes. Okay, Li Wei said, I told them that if our goods don't work, you don't need to eliminate us. We will quit automatically. Yes, you just need to have this confidence, Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhou Ruyi asked, but what if Wu Huan's video here is just an accidental phenomenon? There is nothing accidental about vegetables, Zhang Xiangbei said confidently, I am familiar with the wholesale market. In the wholesale market, if there is a cart of vegetables, the bad ones will definitely be piled inside, and the good ones will be piled outside. In that box or a cart, when bundled vegetables, the small ones that don't look good are tied inside, and the ones that look good are tied outside. The same is true for the ones you buy at the farmer's market. As long as the food is not quality controlled in the early stage and has not been screened in the workshop, this situation will definitely happen. As far as I know, Daily Fresh does not have a food factory, so it is impossible for them to sort the ingredients. In that case, the losses and inventories will be even greater than they are now. Okay, I believe you, Zhou Ruyi said. Ding reluctantly said, thank you, Mr. Zhang, for delivering the ammunition. A few people were chatting when Sun Xiangyang came in from outside with a smile. When Zhang Xiangbei saw his look, he knew there was good news. Zhang Xiangbei asked. Is it related to Daily Fresh? Sun Xiangyang is right. Come on, fatty, come here. Tell your wife what you want to do. We are in a meeting. Zhang Xiangbei called Sun Xiangyang to come closer. He raised his mobile phone, opened WeChat voice, and got in front of Sun Xiangyang. Sun Xiangyang glanced sideways and said. There's news from over there. The dishes they left over yesterday will continue to be delivered today. Zhang Xiangbei withdrew his hand, pressed the voice button, and shouted into the phone, did you hear that? Is there another bomb? I know their virtues. Yuan Li Wei smiled. No, he's really awesome. He already knows what shit to do before he sticks his butt out, Zhou Ruyi said. Everyone laughed. Several people were talking, but Wu Huan never interrupted. Zhang Xiangbei felt a little strange, and was about to ask if Wu Huan was there. Wu Huan walked in from the outside with a mobile phone in his hand, followed by Wu Yu. Wu Huan asked Zhang Xiangbei, have you been on Daily Fresh today? Zhang Xiangbei said, it's not too late yet. Go up and take a look, they have upgraded again today, Wu Huan said. There are vegetables in every category, and the price has been directly reduced to 50 cents a serving. Zhang Xiangbei quickly picked up his mobile phone and clicked on the Daily Fresh app. Sure enough, he saw leafy vegetables, 250g plus or minus 50g, priced at 0.50 yuan, and tomatoes in the tomato and melon category. 350g plus or minus 50g, the price is also 0.50 yuan, Rhizome potatoes 800g plus or minus 50g, the price is 0.50 yuan, other categories are the same, the top ones are all 0.50 yuan. However, each customer can only choose one portion of each variety. Even so, with only 2 yuan, you can buy enough vegetables for a family for a day. Zhang Xiangbei looked at it and took a breath of cold air. He expected that Daily Fresh would definitely lower the price as long as their home fresh delivery still existed, but he didn't expect that they would be out in just one day. Such a move. Damn, that's cruel. Sun Xiangyang looked down at his phone and couldn't help but cursed. Wu Huan said, their stocked vegetables may be processed in this way. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment and comforted them and said, it doesn't matter. When the customer buys the food for home, whether he buys it for 50 cents or 5 yuan, he requires it to be fresh, as long as he bought it from us, can still be distinguished. Wu Huan smiled bitterly and said, no matter what, the damage to us is still big enough. I'm afraid it's true to compare goods, but everyone still knows that you get what you pay for. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. He saw Wu Yu standing on the edge. He seemed to have something to say but didn't dare to say it. Zhang Xiangbei asked. What bad news do you have there? It doesn't matter, I can handle it. Wu Yu sighed and said, I'll come over to the front. Our personal customers have lost about 12% again. So many, Zhang Xiangbei blurted out. Wu Yu nodded. In this way, half of the power of Zaixian delivery was taken away by Daily Fresh in just over a day. No, from 9 o'clock yesterday morning to now, exactly 24 hours, one day. Where are the corporate customers? Zhang Xiangbei asked. There is also a trend of expansion. Yesterday, the orders transferred were mainly small catering hotels. Starting today, there are more factories, Wu Yu said. That's because yesterday was the Mid-Autumn Festival. If the factory wants to work overtime, it needs to pay 3 times the salary. Today and tomorrow are Saturdays and Sundays. Even if you work overtime, you don't need to pay 3 times the salary. As long as you work normal overtime, wages or days off are enough, so many factories are open, is that right? Zhang Xiangbei looked at Wu Huan and asked. Wu Huan is right, and so is our judgment. In other words, when the short holiday is over and more factories start operating, the loss of these customers will continue. Here in Hangzhou, private enterprises are the main ones. The bosses of these private enterprises chose them because of the vegetable prices are cheaper than those at the farmers' market. Now that there are cheaper ones, they will definitely go there. They are a group of people who are more price sensitive than ordinary residents, but do not care much about the quality of the food. The loss of this group of customers is almost inevitable, as long as the price of Daily Fresh is always higher than the price. They are cheap. Is there any good news? Zhang Xiangbei asked. The good news is that the customers who participated in the Suishaobang activity are still strong, and they still have not transferred orders, Wu Yu said. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. If they were standing here, I would kneel down and thank them. Wu Huan and Wu Yu went out, but Sun Xiangyang was still sitting here. He saw Zhang Xiangbei's face was a little ugly and asked. Brother, can you still hold on? No problem. Zhang Xiangbei looked at Sun Xiangyang and smiled, very reluctantly, and said, if you really can't stand it, fatty, you can follow me to Wuzishan to raise cattle. Sun Xiangyang said yes and left without saying a word. Go and do your work, Zhang Xiangbei told him. Sun Xiangyang stood up, reached out and patted Zhang Xiangbei on the shoulder, and left. Zhang Xiangbei sat there alone, thinking blankly. He went to Hui Huan's place earlier. Hui Huan's words did give Zhang Xiangbei a lot of encouragement and gave him confidence. He felt that he seemed to have grasped the situation. The key to this war was to seize the initiative. But when he arrived at the company, the data was naked and direct. It told him clearly that his wound was still bleeding and had not stopped. How long would it take for the wound to close? This was exactly what Huan said. I don't know, maybe no one knows. He has already lost more than half of his personal customers. How many more will he lose? Who can tell me? Zhang Xiangbei felt that what he saw in front of him was an abyss, a bottomless abyss. In this abyss, there might be light, but he couldn't see that light now. He didn't even know if he could wait until the day I saw it. He feels that what Zhang Xiangbei is doing now is a bit mechanical, just continuing to follow the path he originally set. In the eyes of others, this may be persistence, but in Zhang Xiangbei's own view, he felt like he was suffering. He couldn't do nothing, nor could he just surrender. He could only keep doing it while staring at the abyss in front of him, waiting for the light to appear bit by bit. This process was really very difficult. Suffering. Zhang Xiangbei even felt that the scene was very similar to when he was in the corridor of the hospital, staring at his father and mother in the glass. He saw his father drawing a watch for his mother, and the monitor beside his mother's bed. The curves flashed twice, and finally turned ruthlessly into straight lines. Zhang Xiangbei clearly heard a voice screaming in his heart, "No, no." But there was nothing he could do. Zhang Xiangbei seemed to have a feeling of powerlessness now. The numbers Wu Yu spoke were like knives being stabbed into his body. He couldn't feel the pain, but he felt the cold, all over his body. After being stabbed with a knife, it seemed to stiffen little by little. Just keep screaming no, no. It's also useless, everything that should come will still come, it will rain, the birds will fly, my mother is gone, and dark clouds will always cover the sky and the earth inadvertently. Zhang Xiangbei stood up and left the office, walked downstairs, walked to the parking lot, got into his car, and started the car. Zhang Xiangbei parked his car in the underground parking lot, took the elevator upstairs, and then walked back home. When he opened the door, his grandma and grandma were a little strange when they saw him. Grandma asked, "Bai, why are you back now?" Zhang Xiangbei pointed upstairs and said vaguely, "I'll get something." Zhang Xiangbei went upstairs, past the second floor, and walked to the third floor. He walked into Zhang Chen and Xiaofang's study, closed the door, thought for a while, and locked it from the inside. After moving from splendid home, Xiao Zhao's urn was placed on a special table in the study. Behind the urn was Xiao Zhao's portrait and next to it was a vase. Xiaofang would put new flowers on it every day. If she is not here, then Zhang Chen will replace her. Zhang Xiangbei pulled a swivel chair over and sat down. Zhang Xiangbei put his hand on the urn, looked at Xiao Zhao in front of him, and shouted, "Mom, I want to talk to you. Thank you for +1 = 5, that year soap you lost weight again, book friend 2017030319583950, Zhao 1017, monthly pass specially for Cao Xiaoman, Kong Kong Pan Pan, Lang 68, Winsan Liu, light and thin, a safe journey, Yunlong Frogfish. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2090. At noon, Xiaohu's plane landed on the apron of Xiaoshan International Airport. Xiaohu walked to the ramp and saw Xiaofang's car parked on the apron. Her assistant, Zhao Zheng, was standing beside the car waiting for him. The sun was shining brightly at noon. She didn't even use a parasol, and there were beads of sweat on her forehead. Xiaohu quickly quickened his pace and walked down. As he walked, he said, "It's too hot outside. Miss Zhao, you can just sit in the car." Zhao Zheng smiled and opened the door of the passenger seat. A stream of cool air came out from inside. Xiaohu got in. Zhao Zheng walked to the other side and sat in the driver's seat. The car never turned off. Zhao Zheng put the gear into gear, stepped on the accelerator, and the car drove towards the exit. Xiaohu asked Zhao Zheng, "Should we go to your company or to half an acre of field?" Zhao Zheng said, "Half an acre of land. Mr. Gan and Mr. Lu are already waiting for you at Mr. Zhang's place." Xiaohu said yes. This time Xiaohu flew from Taipei to Hangzhou because he received a call from Lu Yun yesterday. He did not call anyone from his Hangzhou company, nor did he call Zhang Xiangbei when he arrived to tell him that he had arrived in Hangzhou. Xiao Fang sent Zhao Zheng to pick him up at the airport. After picking him up, the four of them had to discuss and come up with a complete plan before talking to Zhang Xiangbei and the others. At noon, before Xiaohu arrived, Xiao Fang and Tan Shehen received calls from Zheng Huiyang, saying that tomorrow night, she and Lao Wan wanted to treat them to dinner at home. The two she and Xiao Fang were talking about were it refers to Xiao Fang and Zhang Chen, and Tan Shehen refers to Tan Shehen and Lu Ligan, both of whom agreed. Putting down the phone, Xiao Fang felt a little confused. What did Zheng Huiyang mean by inviting her to dinner at this time? Will it be related to the dispute between Daily Fresh and Zaixiangxian? In Xiao Fang's impression, except for the first month of the year, everyone is usually very busy. Zheng Huiyang seems to be busier than them. She never said she had time to treat them to dinner. Even if we invite you to dinner, now everyone is in the hotel and rarely at home. Xiao Fang told Zhang Chen Zheng Huiyang's phone number. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "It's just for dinner. It's just right. I haven't seen Lao Wan for a long time, and I haven't been to their new home yet." Zheng Huiyang and Lao Wan now live in a villa in Dehuayuan. Although Lao Wan is a shareholder of Splendid China, Dehuayuan is a project developed by them and has been completed for 3 phases. However, the villas there have long been sold out, and the ones they bought are also second-hand housing. Usually, Lao Wan is in Shanghai, and Zheng Huiyang has a room in a hotel near the company. They rarely stay there. Only during the New Year and holidays, when they both have a rest, do they take their children and Zheng Huiyang's mother there. Zheng Huiyang's mother lived with their children in their original house, which was very close to their children's school. At noon, Zhou Ruyi took the salesperson Xiao Mo, declined the customer's invitation to have lunch together, and hurriedly went on the road. They had to rush from Puxi to Pudong to make an appointment with another customer and meet at 1:30 in the afternoon. Unexpectedly, they transferred from Shuicheng South Road to the Yan'an Elevated Highway. There were very few vehicles on the elevated highway at noon during the holidays, just like Shanghai at midnight. The two of them exclaimed that the road was smooth. After getting off the elevated highway and passing through the tunnel, it was still smooth. They were only in their 20s. In minutes, they had arrived at Lujiazhuai. When we drove to Yuanshen Road, the time had just reached 12 o'clock. It was only 10 minutes away and they would reach the customer's place. And the rest of the road would not be jammed even during the morning and evening rush hours, so you can rest assured. It was still early, and everyone was still taking a nap after this time. Zhou Ruyi decided to find a place to eat before leaving. Zhou Ruyi saw a hotel at the intersection of a small road. The glass door was closed. There were not many people eating inside, but the air conditioner seemed to be running well. Zhou Ruyi turned the car into a small road and pulled over. The two of them got out of the car, pushed open the glass door and went in. They found an empty table and sat down. The waiter came over immediately and asked them what they wanted to eat. Zhou Ruyi picked up the plastic wrapped menu on the table and looked at it. Instead of ordering immediately, she asked, "Where do you buy the food here?" "What?" the waiter asked, not understanding. "I'm talking about where you buy the food here," Zhou Ruyi said again. "I don't know," the waiter shook his head, "it's all bought by the boss." "Then ask the boss," Zhou Ruyi said. The boss, who was also the chef, was cooking in the back kitchen. The waiter looked at Zhou Ruyi and the two of them, wondering why it was so troublesome, but still walked away. After a while, The waiter came back and said to them, the boss said, let you rest assured that the goods are all purchased through regular channels. They were originally bought from Xianshui, but now they are bought from Daily Fresh. Excuse me, what are you doing, what do you want to order? Zhou Ruyi stood up and said to Xiao Mo, if you don't want to eat, let's go. The waiter, who was holding a pen and paper and was about to order, was confused and asked, why don't you eat again? Zhou Ruyi said the dishes at Daily Fresh are not fresh and took Xiao Mo out. The waiter said crazy, and chased her out from the crack in the door. The two people got into the car, backed it out and continued to drive forward. They didn't see any more restaurants along the way, but they were already hungry. If they went further, they would reach the client's school. Zhou Ruyi saw a Lawson convenience store on the side of the road, parked the car, and said to Xiao Mo, you go buy some bread and milk, and we'll have a quick snack. Xiao Mo got out of the car and turned around and asked, Mr. Zhou, there is a lot of food in Lawson. Do you want me to buy some? Zhou Ruyi said angrily, eat whatever you want. I'm so angry that I'm full. Who knows where they get their goods from, so I just eat milk and bread. The milk and flour don't come from humming Daily Fresh. Xiao Mo turned up his nose and left. After a while, he came back with bread and milk. The two of them sat in the car eating bread and drinking milk. Zhou Ruyi remembered and said to Xiao Mo, go and get a pack of sausages from the trunk. Isn't this sausage raw? Let's try it. This is the original flavor produced by Zai Xianshui. At noon, Zhang Xiangbei had returned to the company. He had lunch in the canteen and went to see Gu Gong. There was no one in the office. When he walked to the operation room next to him, he saw Gu Gong lying on a table, asleep on the wire bed. Last night, Gu Gong worked all night to drive out the batch of sausages. Zhang Xiangbei didn't bother him, he left and walked back to his office. As soon as Zhang Xiangbei sat down, his cell phone rang. It was Zhou Ruyi, and Zhang Xiangbei picked it up. Zhang Xiangbei, have you ever eaten our sausage? Just for work, Zhou Ruyi shouted. Zhang Xiangbei said no, what's wrong? It's so delicious. We are eating it now. Zhang Xiangbei, please try it. It's so delicious. We two girls can eat a pack. Zhou Ruyi was shouting, and there was another person behind her who was umming. Zhang Xiangbei scolded, Zhou Ruyi, I was busy all night and rushed out. It was given to the customer. Why did you eat it yourself? What do you mean, Zhang Xiangbei? Zhou Ruyi asked, what the hell, we've been running all morning and we didn't even get lunch, so we just sat in the car eating bread and drinking milk, and you weren't even allowed to eat a pack of sausages. Do you understand what the hell? Do you know how to cherish the fragrance and cherish the jade? Zhang Xiangbei laughed, you should tell the fat man about the word pity the fragrance and cherish the jade. Okay, you can eat as much as you want. It is best to eat like the fat man. Get out, Zhou Ruyi cursed. By the way, Zhou Ruyi, how was your run this morning? Zhang Xiangbei asked. It's okay. We visited 3 hotels in the morning. 2 of them are our die-hard fans. They are all high-end hotels and have relatively high requirements for ingredients. They talked to Huihuan yesterday and they have already tried it under the Daily Fresh Shan. When we went, they told us to let us rest assured that the Daily Fresh dishes were not good, so they recognized us. Where's the other one? The other one is a hospital. The director of the General Affairs Department gave me the feeling that he was hesitant. They also tried the menu and admitted that the dishes at Daily Fresh were not as good as ours, but they didn't say damn it. Damn it, this old fox was so vague. One moment told me that they would continue to place orders with us, and the next moment they told me, but they also have to consider the price of the vegetables. Zhang Xiangbei sighed, let's do our best and let fate do our best. We just have to do our best. Bullshit, we should do our best. If no one places the order, "It will be of no use," Zhou Ruyi said, "that old fox, I must keep an eye on him and take him down." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Well, thank you for your hard work." "This is like a human saying," Zhou Ruyi giggled. "Zhang Xiangbei, go try that sausage. It's really delicious." "I just had lunch," Zhang Xiangbei said. "So what if you've had lunch? If you taste the sausage, you'll die," Zhou Ruyi scolded. "Okay, I'll try it right away." Zhang Xiangbei was too lazy to continue chatting with her and hung up the phone casually. Zhang Xiangbei sat there for a while, thinking about Zhou Ruyi's words, and still curious about what kind of sausage made her so exaggerated, and she had to call him to tell him that it was delicious. Zhang Xiangbei stood up and walked out of the office. The door of Wu Huan's office next door was closed. Wu Huan did not come back. He probably had lunch with clients in a university cafeteria in Xiaosha at noon. Zhang Xiangbei walked to the conference room diagonally opposite and opened the door. In the morning, the food factory sent sausages. There was no place to put them, so they were all placed in the conference room. There are 4 large cartons lined up against the wall. They contain bags of vacuum-packed raw sausages. In one of the cartons, there is also a paper bag from their Zaixian food delivery. Wu Huan and Li Wei, when you go out to see clients, you just pack the sausages in bags. Zhang Xiangbei took a bag of sausages from the carton, walked back to his office, threw the sausages on the coffee table, walked over to the desk, took out a pair of small scissors from the pen holder, and took a utility knife, and walked back, sit down on the sofa. He picked up the bag of sausages and looked at them. The sausages looked very oily, the kind of oil that is exposed by the sun. Zhang Xiangbei took out 2 paper towels from the paper towel box and spread them on the coffee table. After thinking about it, he felt that it was not enough and the oil might seep out. He took out 2 more paper towels and spread them on top. Then he put the package of sausages on the paper towels and cut them with scissors. When you open the bag, a strong smell of meat comes out, a bit like ham. Zhang Xiangbei clamped the sausage head with scissors, took out one and put it on a paper towel. The sausage was maroon. Zhang Xiangbei picked up the utility knife, took out a paper towel and wiped the blade of the utility knife repeatedly, but his mouth was already filled with swallowing saliva. The aroma of sausage is so tempting. Zhang Xiangbei was cutting the sausage with a utility knife, trying to cut it into a small section. The sausage was very tough and not easy to cut. Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help it, so he simply folded a few stacks of paper towels and wrapped them in it. "Hold one end of the sausage in your hand." Zhang Xiangbei took a bite. To his surprise, the sausage was not as hard as he expected and he broke it in one bite. After he bit it, the smell became stronger and filled his mouth wantonly. Zhang Xiangbei hurriedly chewed it. Zhang Xiangbei ate 3 sticks in a row before he felt satisfied. He picked up the phone and called Zhou Ruyi. As soon as the call came through, Zhou Ruyi shouted on the other end. "How's it going? How's it going? Zhang Xiangbei, isn't it delicious? We ate it in the car earlier. After driving all this way, it's still delicious in the car. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you for your monthly votes from Huaxin Yongshao, Su Yuinian, Shi Yitan, Far From Far, Not Near, Book Friends 2018130105305944, and Book Friends 202009031727593111. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Good morning to everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2091. At around 3 o'clock, Zhou Ruyi called Zhang Xiangbei and told him about sausages. Zhang Xiangbei got annoyed when he heard this and asked, "Why are you so verbose today, Zhou Ruyi?" "No, I'm not blabbering. What's more, that old fox just called me." "What do you think he said?" Zhou Ruyi asked. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, "I'm not even a little fox, How do I know what the old fox says? He told me that he reported this matter to the dean, and the dean said that quality must come first, otherwise it will be troublesome for doctors and patients to complain. Haha, he told me that your sausage is good. I tried it for the dean, and the dean said it was even more delicious than the French, Italian, and Spanish salami he had eaten when he was studying abroad. No, it's so salty, fragrant, and smells like ham. He said they were going to buy a batch, but they couldn't find it on our website, Zhou muttered. Can provide them with a batch. Zhang Xiangbei said that he immediately regretted it and said to Zhou, if you send him some more, ask him to give them to the dean. As for ordering large quantities, it may take a while because the sausage process is very complicated and takes time to make. There is no large-scale production yet. Production, however, for his and the dean's personal needs, we can guarantee. Zhou understood immediately and asked, Zhang Xiangbei, you are using this sausage as bait, right? Yes, is that okay? Zhang Xiangbei said, this way we can let the other party remember more of our advantages over daily fresh, and let them know that our dishes are not only fresh, but there are also some products that are exclusive to us, which daily fresh cannot provide. Okay, I understand, Zhou said and hung up the phone. Zhang Xiangbei held the phone and shook his head. Unexpectedly, the sausage became his own weapon. It was still a secret. However, having a weapon is better than having no weapon. Zhang Xiangbei stood up and walked to the coffee table. He couldn't help laughing. He saw that there was still one sausage left in the pack of sausages on the coffee table. He sat in the office in the afternoon, walked around, or stood in front of the window. Standing there is always anguish in my heart that I can't get rid of. When I pass by the coffee table, I will wrap the sausage in a napkin, pick up one and chew it. Before I knew it, the pack of sausages was almost finished. Zhang Xiangbei simply took the sausage in his hand and threw the empty plastic bag into the trash can. He stood up and walked to the window, looking at the bright sky and cement floor outside. The sun was not strong yet. In the past, this time was the most idle time for the entire logistics space. Even the big truck drivers were looking for a shady place to cool off. Many drivers who were reluctant to stay in the part-time rooms of the base guest house simply spread straw mats at the door of a familiar warehouse and lay there to sleep. The air conditioning from the door made the area at the door very cool. Zhang Xiangbei chewed the last sausage slowly, savored it carefully, and thought about it. However, after finishing the sausage, Zhang Xiangbei still couldn't figure out how Gu Gong made it. Zhang Xiangbei looked at his watch. At this time, Gu Gong should have gotten up, and Zhang Xiangbei walked out. There was no one in Gu Gong's office. Zhang Xiangbei walked to the operating room next to him and saw that the wire bed was empty and there was no one inside. Zhang walked north to the water dispenser, poured himself a glass of water, and sat down on the sofa with the water. 10 minutes later, Gu Gong came in from the door, saw Zhang Xiangbei and shouted, "Hey, have you been sitting for a long time? I'm in the workshop, just ask someone to call me." Zhang Xiangbei said, "It's okay. I'm sitting over there anyway, but I'm still sitting here when I come to you." Gu Gong looked at Zhang Xiangbei and asked, "Why, you can't do anything?" "A bit," Zhang Xiangbei said honestly. "It's okay. Victory is achieved through endurance. This is the case in war and the same is true in business competition. In Stalingrad, Zhukov endured the Germans until they were almost dead and then attacked. Only then was victory possible. If you don't endure it, you want a quick victory. That is to strike an egg against a stone and destroy yourself," Gu Gong said. Zhang Xiangbei laughed, "I feel the pain, but I don't see the hope. Hope is sugar. You pour the sugar water into the pot and simmer it slowly, and the sugar will come out. Now is a stalemate, and it is also the most torturous time, when people's will is most easily distracted and depressed." Gu Gong said, "Why is old M so awesome? It was at such a time that he promptly reorganized San Juan and proposed building the branch in the company, because he knew that at this time, people's thoughts are the most important. Zhang Xiangbei said, "I really envy you. Really, you can be very calm no matter what time. That's what happens when you learn more history." Gu Gong said, "It's like driving a car. If you go on the highway and drive for 150 yards, and then slow down, your sense of direction and speed will be improved. There are so many stormy waves in history, compared with them, what we are experiencing now is just childish." Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said, "By the way, your sausage responded very well. I know it will be very good. There will be many people who want to place orders soon, right? I just went to make arrangements and made the second batch. The quantity has doubled several times," Gu Gong said. "How do you know?" Zhang Xiangbei was surprised, "so confident." "I have tasted it myself. My mouth can basically represent the mouths of more than 80% of people. If I think it is delicious, I can't go wrong," Gu Gong said. "How did you make it?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "I didn't understand it." "The key is fermentation, just like eating raw ham. Salami has two fatal weaknesses. One is salty. If it is not salty, it will go bad easily and it is not easy to preserve. But if you eat raw food, are you going to die if it is so salty? One of them has a bad taste, so you can make the best use of its strengths and avoid its weaknesses. After several fermentation treatments and exposure to the sun, you can make this sausage. By the way, I've been thinking about whether we should apply for patents for many of our manufacturing processes. It turns out that the company I worked for mentioned it several times, but the boss didn't want to spend a small amount of money to apply for a patent, and he didn't think it was a big deal." Use. Zhang Xiangbei said, "Yes, we should indeed apply for a patent. My father and his family are applying for patents for the miscellaneous dishes they give Master Fu. Although Master Fu himself was unwilling during his lifetime, he still named them Fu's dishes." "Yes, this is also a way of paying tribute," Gu Gong said. Zhang Xiangbei told Gu Gong why he came to see him, hoping that he could continue to launch new products and trial packs. This has now become a link for them to maintain relationships with major customers. Gu Gong said, "Yes, if you need it, I will provide more here. By the way, I was chatting with Xiaoli and Du Tao that day. We had an idea that the two companies could cooperate to produce some microwave dishes and convenience dishes. The dishes are already cooked and vacuum packed, like students or others. In the dormitory, you only need to soak the whole bag in hot water for a few minutes, then tear open the bag and pour it out, and then you can eat it," Gu Gong said. "As for instant noodles, I think most people are tired of it," Gu Gong added. "This is okay and I support it. This can be considered a strong alliance," Zhang Xiangbei said. "It's good that you support it, but if this happens, we will expand the production area. I want to wait for your father to come and discuss with him whether we can free up the warehouse in the yard here for us." Zhang Xiangbei said, "Yes, I will talk to him first when I see him. By the way, I remembered it," Gu Gong said, "I can roll out the vinegar right away. You can eat it in the office by microwaving it in the microwave for 2 minutes. Do you want it?" Zhang Xiangbei quickly asked for it. After chatting with Gu Gong, Zhang Xiangbei walked back and felt that his mood was much better. Gu Gong was right. Compared with many major events, what he was experiencing now was indeed child's play. Since hope and victory you've all got through it, so let's get through it and see who can survive it in the end. At 10 o'clock in the evening, the same people as yesterday gathered in the conference room for another meeting. Wu Yu told today's latest data that they had lost about 18% of their individual customers. In other words, after 2 days, they had lost a lot. Unfortunately, now we can barely maintain about 1/3 of our individual customers in Hangzhou and Shanghai. The even worse news is that corporate customers are also losing, with almost 1/5 lost in 2 days. Here's some good news, Zhang Xiangbei said. The good news is that Zhou Ruyi and Ding Mianli reported that the results of the big customers they visited in Shanghai today were pretty good, and these big customers can basically be stabilized. Wu Huan said that the situation here in Hangcheng is similar and relatively optimistic, but there is a prerequisite. What's the premise? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Then there should be no more tricks from Daily Fresh, Wu Huan said. This is impossible, Zhang Xiangbei said. If we place our hopes on our opponents, we are seeking death. Several people mentioned that the souvenirs they brought today were good. Many customers tried it and called to express their gratitude. They also said that once we launch it, they will order it immediately. Zhang Xiangbei told everyone that Gugong will launch more similar products, and Zaixian food delivery can become one of the fortresses we hold onto. This is our advantage. Everyone nodded in agreement, feeling that Zaixian food delivery can really be said to be their business card. This business card cannot be taken out by Daily Fresh. In the darkness, this can be regarded as a little light. Bar. I think there is another good news, Wu Huan said. What's the good news? Zhang Xiangbei asked. At least, the number of our customers lost today is less than yesterday. It stands to reason that there must be more people who know about Daily Fresh today than yesterday, Wu Huan said. What kind of good news is this? If it decreases any more, we will be shaved off, Zhou Ruyi shouted. Zhang Xiangbei said, I agree with what Wu Huan said. It should be considered good news. As long as the rate of decline slows down, it means it is almost the end. When it does not decline, what is left will be our basic market, and these losses is what we need to win back. Wu Huan said something to me, and I think it's right. Those who are won back by us will be very decisive. After choosing, they will choose us again, which means that they have completely abandoned Daily Fresh, which means they have completely abandoned Daily Fresh. It has become our basic base. We must have confidence. As long as we hit the bottom and rebound, there will be hope. Everyone nodded. After the meeting, Sun Xiangyang followed Zhang Xiangbei to his office and told him about the news from there today. The orders had increased too much, the production workshop was a bit chaotic, and many products were out of stock by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Their customers, the center has received many complaints from customers, saying that neither this nor that is available. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and asked Fatty Sun, do you feel that this is also our hope? Forget it, I am just grabbing straws and trying to save my life. I think so, Fatty Sun said. Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone rang. He looked at it and saw that it was Xiaohu. He immediately picked it up. Xiaohu asked, Zhang Xiangbei, where are you now? Office, Zhang Xiangbei said. I'm in Hangzhou, how about taking me for a midnight snack? Xiaohu asked. Have you arrived in Hangzhou? Zhang Xiangbei called. Okay, Fatty and I will come here together. Are you at home? Come downstairs and call you. Thank you to Guandian Electromechanical, James Chen, Jumpfly, and Shachin Mood for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health.